So, oh, come on, voice. Work with me. I realized I actually have a more thorough and in-depth answer to your question, Act. I hadn't even really thought about it. Like, you were asking me right at the last second, hey, why don't you like this thing about the game? And I realized immediately, you're right, I don't like that thing about the game. But I hadn't actually put thought into why yet. When I thought about it, I realized, you're right, that deserves a negative. But then, I realized the true, hidden truth behind all of these events. Did you know? I already gave that negative. No, it's a very valid question, Act. So here's the deal. I'm going to use Star Trek as the example. Star Trek has an aspect of its world building that is honestly ridiculous. And we all just kind of accept it because they say it's true. And the end, right? You know, it's something that the creators have said, this is an established part of the setting. And we all just move on accepting that it's true, right? Now, I used Battletech as an example earlier. But I think Star Trek is a much, much better example here. Can you guess what I'm referring to? That's right! I'm talking about nebulas. In Star Trek, nebulas are magic. They magically just kind of interrupt certain types of transmissions. Shields don't work in nebulas, and most sensors don't work in nebulas. Now, that's nonsense from everything we understand about how nebulas actually work in real life and the general density thereof. But that is a magic thing that they do in Star Trek that we all just kind of accept. And here's the catch. One of the things I mentioned before the lunch break was that one of the things that doesn't bother me is if a setting invents a magic rule but then is consistent with it. As long as that rule is always true, we're good. And in Star Trek, nebulas pretty much always get in the way of stuff. So, okay, they're consistent with it. But Starfield has invented a magic rule. There's no telecommunication. And they're consistent with it. There's no telecommunication. So why does it bother me so much in Starfield? And that's easy to answer. Because I could point to 3 examples right off the top of my head where the nebula thing in Star Trek adds to the work in question, where it makes it better. Best of Both Worlds Part 1. Hiding in the nebula from the Borg. Wrath of Khan, the entirety of the final battle. And pretty much every Star Trek video game which has a mission which occurs partially in a nebula, where part of the game design of that particular mission is handling the fact that you suddenly do not have all of your sensors, all of your visibility, and the shields. All 3 of these things are what you would call positives to either story or gameplay, or in some cases, both. The fact that they have this rule and they're self-consistent with it don't matter. That's baseline, right? They have established the rule and they're consistent with it is just the beginning of the sentence. What matters is they then use it to good effect. It adds to the enjoyability of the work. By contrast, in Starfield, there's no telecommunicators, which means I have to hit a loading screen, and then a loading screen, and then I have to walk over there, and then I have to talk to a guy, and then I have to walk back, hit a loading screen, fast travel to this place, hit another loading screen, talk to this guy, and then I have to warp back, and so forth and so on. This is why I mentioned earlier, I've actually already given this negative. It's a backtracking negative. Because the fact that they have the rule, no telecommunications, and the fact that they're consistent with it does not matter. That's baseline. What matters is that it detracts from my enjoyment of the work. And that is why I don't enjoy the fact that there's no phones in Starfield. Does that explain it? Exactly, Act. If you do it well, I don't really care if you come up with it. If you bother to do something good with it, then good. If you bother to make it cool, then cool. What's really funny is I could see this working really well in a game like this. Track me for a second. Almost every major story arc, story chain, in this game, involves the same format. I already mentioned this before the break. here's NPC Mike Romano. Mike Romano, you're now an NPC. Congratulations. So you're the NPC. You give us the quest. We go off and do the quest, and we come back to you. Then you give us another quest, and we come back to you. Then you give us a third quest, and we come back to you. The throughput of these quests could be improved substantially by having it so we go to you, you give us a quest, Mike Romano sends us off to fight the train demons of Alpha Centauri 7. So we go there, we fight the train demons, and then we call Mike Romano from there, have the full conversation with him, talk to him, he gives us our next step, and then we just go straight to our next quest objective, rather than coming back and then going to the next objective, right? And Colgrim, that's a good idea, Colgrim. Or you could say, hey, I need you to deal with this and this. And so we could go do both things if we choose to, and then come back. And yeah, this would ironically actually be easier for them from a development perspective. WoW has this. World of Warcraft, which I remind you is a setting where people run around and hit each other with hammers and swords. They have the ability to turn in quests remotely. It was something they invented in Cataclysm and have used to good effect ever since. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 you just move on to the next step. Tor gets this right several times, not always. But still, Tor has the remote communicator concept, right? And almost all of the class quests involve you getting a quest from a dude, then going out, and then calling the person, and they're saying, this leads to this other area. And then you go to the other area. And then you call them again, and then it leads to the other area. This is not a new concept, is what I'm trying to get across. Anyways, I hope that answers you, Act. I apologize for not... You're like, you dropped this question on me right at the end of my break, or right at the end of my shift, and I'm dying of having to go to the bathroom and needing food, and my throat was dying, and I didn't put thought into it. I apologize for that. I have now put thought into it. There's my answer. Now, let's go be a ranger. Let's join the cowboys. Treat these people right. Yep. Remember, these people won an interstellar war 20 years ago. I guarantee you why they didn't introduce that in the game. I guarantee you with 100% certainty that one of the biggest reasons they didn't add that into the game is because they wanted you to constantly have to go do the backtracking to have the dialogue with the person in person, because that's how these games work. That's how BRPGs function. Is you have to go and talk to a person. It's all about... It's all about those conversations, the zoom-in combat. It's been true since Morrowind. And so it never even occurred to them to do otherwise. I'm sure padding was part of the reason. I'm sure that the ideas of, for example, like, you get to go check back in at town, and every time you're back in town, you can hit the vendor, and you can see if there's any new postings up and whatnot, was probably something they thought of. But I guarantee you the main purpose was they didn't realize they were making a BRPG in space, and so they didn't actually adjust the gameplay structure. They didn't adjust the quest design to accommodate the fact that they're in frickin' space. Because in something like Fallout, it makes a degree of sense to walk back to turn in the quest to the person, because it's Fallout. Here's the funny kicker here. That's not always true, even in Fallout. In Fallout 3 and New Vegas, both, there are times when you will be able to call back and say, hey, I completed the quest, and move on to the next objective without turning back in. So even back in Fallout, they had the phone. In Oblivion, might be a better example of this, that it makes a lot more sense, because they don't really have scrying or long-distance communication at all in Oblivion. But I think I've made my point. I mean, I just mentioned WoW, Loner. In WoW, they do have long-range communication, both magically and technologically. So, Hell, they have that in Final Fantasy XIV. Something we'll be playing pretty soon, hopefully. And by soon, I mean in 7 years. And can I admit something very personally? I closed my eyes for about 5 minutes just to rest them during my lunch break. I apologize for the indulgence. And while I was doing so, I realized in my head that I've got at least 2 major quest chains left that I know of. And each one of them is probably going to take about a day. And then we start the MSQ. And that was just such a defeating thought. I cannot describe to you how much my morale sank, realizing that despite the fact that we cranked down the difficulty, despite the fact that we decided to axe all the secondary content, despite the fact that we have good gear and are smashing through things and are fast traveling everywhere, the fact that we still have an absolutely bare freaking minimum of 3 days left of this. And you might think, 3 days, that's nothing. That's like 30 hours of gameplay. In fact, that is, in fact, 27 hours of gameplay. That is not a short amount of time. I know several entire games that are not 27 hours long. In all honesty, Colgrim, if I had just decided to pick up this game for myself, I would have dropped it probably Saturday, I think, during the Crimson Fleet chain. I would have been like, all right, screw the secondaries. I'm going to do the primary optional. I would have started the Crimson Fleet. I would have hated it, and I would have refunded the game. Or tried to, and failed because that was 20 hours in, if you remember. In fact, I wrote down the exact amount of time that was in. It was 22.05 hours in.
To normal yet?
Mostly. Still feels a little weird, though. Guess I'm not used to having the tube out. But it's nothing that would keep...
Let's go join the Rangers.
Need something? You got some business with me?
Yeah, I'm a Class 1 citizen with the UC, and I want to join the Freestar Rangers.
Oh, well, if the Marshal sent you to me, that means he's looking to recruit you. Just so you know what you're getting into, I'll explain who we are and what we do. Well, the Freestar Rangers ensure the safety and security of the Freestar Collective and its people. We might hunt down a fugitive, break up a smuggling operation, investigate a starship theft, or put some would-be bank robbers behind bars. Whatever needs doing to keep the people safe, we do.
Okay. So yeah, the NCR in space. Cool. Let's do it.
Like most things that are worth doing, it ain't always easy. But do I think we make the Freestar Collective a little safer for everyone? Yeah, I do. I imagine you've got some questions. I'll answer anything I can.
Yeah. Does anybody in chat at all think this is going to come even within 1/10 of the level of quality of the Marsara vibe, tone, world building, storytelling? No, seriously. One of the things I pointed out during the StarCraft 1 we did somewhat recently was that while the Zerg are cool and the Protoss are cool, they put the most effort by far into the Terrans. Probably because that was Raynor's, wow. That was Metzin's Golden Boy. That was where the whole thing came from, was his idea of the Old West in space. So, yeah.
Okay, then. A word about myself. I'm in charge of making sure anyone that wants to be a Freestar Ranger is up to the task.
Okay.
That being said, the Marshal wouldn't send you here if he didn't think you had potential. So, what's it gonna be? Are you ready to sign up with the Freestar Rangers?
Yes.
Before I hand you a badge, I need to know you can handle the job. You helped out with the hostage situation, but sometimes people just get lucky. Tell you what, use the mission terminal and take one of the listed jobs. Your choice. Come back alive, and we'll talk about you joining up.
I swear to God.
Then I suggest you get going.
I swear to God, if these are procedurals.
I feel for the folk in the stretch.
Oh my God, they are. Oh my God, you need me to... Okay. Blow up ship. which is... They actually... I just... Okay, so it looks like that's the ship one, I think.
Try and give a credit or two to...
That's really freaking sad, Plutonian. You mean Kingdom Come Deliverance, right? Just to make sure we're all on the same
Low House
board here. Just making sure. Because that's pathetic.
Leave no one alive.
Actually, I don't act. I'm sorry.
Payday!
Yep, we just joined the Minutemen.
Damn it! Hey!
Okay.
This is gonna be fun!
I mean, as I was telling Kemek earlier, these could be worse. I'm not going to change my mind on the fact that I just do not enjoy procedurally generated quests.
Anyway.
But at least these could be so much worse, you know. I'll give you that. Yeah, the planetary ones can go to hell. Holy crap. That's right. We have to have... We have to have infinite gameplay. We need a forever game. So we can add microtransactions. I am astonished they haven't added microtransactions yet to this game. I am shocked.
Watch it. Ships coming and going all the time.
I will admit, randomized missions in general, even if I can enjoy them, I will lose interest in them more quickly. I can actually give a direct example of that. Dark Tide. Me and my friends walked away from Dark Tide very quickly because all the missions, except for like the tutorial, are just random missions. You know, mix and match randomization stuff. And it's like, it's fun, and they're well-designed missions, but after like the third time doing the same mission, it's like, yeah, okay, we're done. We much preferred Vermintide 2, which had, well, like 20 missions, 30, you know. Actual mission design.
Oh, you're back. How'd it go?
Done. Can we move on, please?
Good. You did what I asked, so let's go meet the Marshal. Follow me.
Oh yeah, by the way, a really common tactic. A really common tactic that companies have been using nowadays is they'll come out with a game, and either the review copy or the release does not have microtransactions, and then they'll patch them in later. Now, there's actually been some legislation being pushed, especially in the EU, that has been trying to push back against that practice, and so it's fallen off a little bit in overall approach, but it's still something companies do. The reason I bring this up is I legitimately believe with 100% certainty that Starfield was intended to have that there was going to be a microtransaction thing patched into the game at some point. I don't know if they changed their mind on it. I don't know if they backed off because of the negative press. I don't know if there's some feedback because of the higher-ups at Microsoft. I don't know if the internecine political conflict happening right now at Microsoft with regards to the gaming division is affecting this. I don't know. I don't know. But I would be legitimately shocked. No joking, no hyperbole, no memeing. I would be legitimately shocked if they did not plan microtransactions for this game. It could even be technical issues. Who knows? Listen, Miranda. How do you know a game is worthwhile if you have not played that game for, looks like 49 hours is my current playtime? Is it even a game worth your time if you don't go do random procedural quests in order to have played the game for longer? Listen, Damashi. Yeah, is it? I don't even want to get into Diablo 4. Have you looked up how much that new mount is worth? How much that new mount costs? If you know, you know. I'm not going to go into that. It's just, that's just absolute garbage.
Well, hey there.
I've put very real thought into actually vetoing Diablo 4.
We're headquartered
In protest.
on the upper floors of the rock, but we also have remote stations.
On the plus
so
side,
Freestar
nobody's really been donating for D4,
to
so.
identify and respond to threats more quickly. There are less than a dozen.
Speaking of
races
padding.
in all, and we operate with limited resources.
In fact, let me talk about this for a second. See, here's the thing. Walk and talk cutscenes can work, and actually often do. There's a lot of games that do the walk and talk cutscene and do it to good effect. No, I vetoed Diablo Immortal, although even that was on a technicality, Walker. Well, walk and talk gives the player the chance to look around, get in a bit of the scenery, you know, kind of get a vibe for where they're going. It gives them a sense of terrain and loot while they're doing it. So they can loot, they can talk, they can see. There's stuff you can put in the background to help add to like the visual storytelling of like events or people or talking or whatever. And you can figure out where things are in relation to other things. So it helps navigation, it helps with immersion, and it helps to give you an idea of what's going on with that. There's a lot of good benefits to a walk and talk. Have you noticed, however, that this game has so many walk and talk cutscenes to the point where it's actually aggravating? Usually in between regular cutscenes, as opposed to where walk and talks should be. Like, just in the question we just did with the UC, there was a bit where it's like we go and we warp to the planet, we go through a safe base, a town, essentially, talk to someone, and she says, hey, walk with me. And then she walks over, talking on the way there, and then we talk to her, and then that goes to another cutscene. It's cutscene, walk and talk, cutscene, cutscene.
Thankfully, most people respect us and are willing to cooperate. In this job, your eyes, ears, and wits are every bit as important as your badge and your sidearm.
What was it, 32 minutes right now, Colgrim, for new gaming this not new game plussing?
Marshall?
Emma, I take it you're here because you're satisfied that our new recruit can handle the job.
Seems capable enough, and we could use the help.
All right then. Step forward, recruit. Let me have a word with you. I've got just one question. Do you pledge to defend the people of the Freestar Collective, even if it means risking your own life?
Yes.
Good. Here, take these. You're now a Freestar Ranger Deputy. I'm assigning you to Ranger Wilcox for some field training. Listen good to what she tells you. Welcome aboard, Deputy.
Wish we could throw you a welcome party, but there's work to do.
I swear to God, if you tell me to go another procedural mission.
We got word from a farmer on Montera Luna.
Thank you.
She says someone's trying to take her farm, and she's afraid she might be in danger.
So hang on. Just random curiosity. How did she communicate with you asking for help on this distant farm?
Just the name. Michaela Wagner. There have been Wagoners on Montera Luna for a long time, and I'm sure they're proud of that heritage.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, most things do at the start. Doesn't mean they stay that way. That being said, best not to assume anything. Just try to keep an open mind. Grab any supplies you might need, and let's get going.
Yep, she sent out word.
Attention to what Ranger Wilcox tells you.
She sent word on the International Groove Network. Is there a sort for the missions? There's not, is there? That's okay, so this isn't what I really meant. So for example, what I mean by sort is like sorting, not filtering. Like this is filtering, right? And that's cool, sure. But like I meant sorting, like maybe move the quest that I'm currently doing to the top of the list, for example. I apologize for not being clear in my terminology, because I twice now I've checked and been like, what quest am I on? Because it's down here for some reason. Thankfully, I don't have more, so I don't have to scroll down every time I do it. You're right, I should probably just sit here. At least these exist, I will give you that. But I will not give Ect anything this far, no farther. I will make Ect pay for what he has done. And making me play Undertale Yellow, the PMD block, and the Kaiserreich. Thank you very much, as always, for being part of the show. Okay, whatever. Why is this quest... You know what? Hang on. This is actually irritating me. Can I get this quest out of my log? Is that a thing I could do? Hang on. Get out of my quest log. You know, the quest I can't do anymore. Because I'm done with it. Because I have completed the quest. Can I get this quest out of my log forever, please? Wait, why am I restarting the game?
I can't believe it. We basically turned into piracy.
Oh, yeah. Listen, Act. I cannot confirm or deny that I spent $70 buying this game. You notice it hasn't gone on sale yet, by the way.
Once news of the fleet's demise. Good. It's amazing that all this romance. It just goes to show you. That it? Are you kidding me? It makes me sick. Anything else? Wow. All that wealth. Have any more? Understood. Keep search. Let me know if you need...
Okay, did I get rid of him? Nope. Cool.
Anything else?
Yeah, can you imagine spending $100 for this game? Let me walk that sentence back a little bit. Can you imagine spending $100 for basically any game? Like, I don't know. I know I'm a poor, worthless sack of crap, but like, I'm not made of money. I don't have $100 to just burn. What? Let's try spinning. That's a good trick. And yeah, obviously there are some individual games that I have spent more than $100 on. Because I play MMOs.
You've entered Freestar Collective space. Maintain your current course while we scan for contraband.
And I play Stellaris, you know. Or EU4.
Alright, we're done. Go ahead and land.
But honestly, yeah, that's kind of a money over time situation. That's not, here's $100, give me the game. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of you, Miranda. I swear. It's just, I've never quite gotten that mentality. And maybe that's just where I've been at in so much of my life. Because the first time I was ever even really financially stable in my life was about 7 years ago. Doing this job, you know.
This location seems full of life. We should name it after you. Also, every other location in the galaxy.
Yeah, that's true. Spending $100 on a game that you spend hundreds and hundreds of hours in. Like, I haven't really gotten a time to play Stellaris. I'll use Stellaris as the example, as much as I would like. And yet, I still have 250 hours in Stellaris. And none of that's padding. That's 250 hours of enjoyed time, right? Hell, let's look at EU4. That's 380 hours. A civilization of Horatios. No! God, no!
The Freestar Rangers. You have no idea how happy I am to see you.
I'm Ranger Emma Wilcox. My deputy and I are here to help. Now, tell us what happened.
I was out planting in the fields when I saw some men approaching. They looked like soldiers with uniforms and weapons and such. They wanted to buy the farm. Didn't even ask if it was for sale. Their offer was so low, I told them right where they could stick it. They said they'd give me time to think about it, but if I didn't change my mind, I was gonna regret it. Then they left.
They called themselves the Purpletons. We'll hunt these men down like the vermin they are.
Then I know where you can start. They headed into those canyons back behind the house. That place is dangerous. Steep slopes, narrow trails, rock slides, and all manner of hostile creatures, too. If you're going after those men, be careful. Oh, there's one other thing. They said they were the first. The first of what, I'm not sure. But there must be more of them coming.
Thank you, ma'am. That should be enough for us to find these men. All right, Deputy. Keep that weapon handy and your eyes sharp.
You got it, ma'am.
Since these guys don't know we're after them, they're probably not making an effort to hide their tracks. Now, let's go and check out.
Sure thing, ma'am. Just gonna head this way. And yeah, I'm with Spartan. I actually have a general rule for the show. Anytime there's a game that I know I'm going to be playing or procuring for the show, I wishlist it on whatever factor it is, whether it's on Nintendo or Steam or Amazon or GOG. And I just let it sit there. And my general rule is when it goes below $10, that's usually when I pick it up. And that's been a rule that's served me well for a long time. There are some exceptions to that, obviously. Point in fact, this game, I honestly expected Starfield to take longer to get funded. And, well, it didn't. So that's why I ended up paying full price for this one. But that's extremely rare.
Boot tracks. Several pairs by the look. Not too old either.
Like, I didn't even buy Baldur's Gate 3 full price. I was a backer for Baldur's Gate 3. These aren't what I would call boot tracks in the traditional sense of the word, but whatever. That's a very strange question, Act. I suppose the easiest answer would be, first of all, you would have to be on something that isn't a PC, like a Linux box or something similar. Then what you would probably do is you'd probably get a shell OS going, running a variant on some version of Windows, and then you'd run it via that. You'd also try to operate some other shell program, which is kind of what the Steam Deck does, and run it via that. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought you were asking a legitimate question. Hello, Inomino. How is your day going? I apologize about my voice. I am still in recovery from being sick. I don't think they're going to let me refund this game.
Good eye, Deputy. Looks like we're heading in the right direction.
Having said that, would I refund this game upon conclusion? If the option existed, yes, absolutely, without hesitation. But admittedly, that's more of a financial question than it is a worthwhileness question. Yeah, a lot of people have been getting this bug. I know people in 3 separate states here in the United States that all have pretty much the exact same illness I do. Hundreds of miles apart. In some cases, thousands. It's just the bug. It's just your typical cold or flu. Stomach virus. That's it. Yeah, I'm still farming laser kills. Speaking of which, I think we're pretty close. I need to double check that. Which brings me to Plutonia's question. What build am I going for? So what we call this is a cutter build. Now, I did actually do a little looking up off camera. There are several ways to implement some efficiencies to the cutter build. But this right here, that perk, that exact perk, is really all you need. That's the big one. Once we have reached rank 4, we good. Because that set on fire dot, which stacks, is going to just overwhelm any other damage we're doing. It had a pop-up, which I didn't have a chance to read, Colgrim. But that's the reason I was checking my progress. So now we need to kill 100 enemies with this. Fire synergies and other perks. I don't think there's synergies, period, in this game. Don't quote me on that. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, if we could find a better cutter than this thing, we good. Here's the real advantage of having the cutter on. I can mine at will. I knew what you meant, Plutonia. I stand by it. I'm telling you, respec would fix a lot of problems with the build system in this game. Really let us play around with stuff, you know? Why is she wielding a knife? Aren't you an interstellar ranger?
They definitely passed this way.
How have you been enjoying it, Desperado Joe? I was admittedly pretty unimpressed with it, but that's because it's primarily, like, non-campaign focused, so there just wasn't a lot of content for me.
Nice to get out under the sky for a spell. Being a mother...
And no, I didn't TSB. Although...
Watch it.
Excuse me. I did... I need to double check this, but I was told we can't craft ammo, which kind of sucks. What? Well, there's nothing to do, though. There's no campaign, Desperado Joe. There's just skirmish matches.
Look out!
You know, against terrible bots. Or, you know, against other people. So just not for me, that's all. Fortunately, there's a lot of enemies on this mission. This is great. Get this kill count up. That's an interesting question, Miranda. See, I haven't reviewed Andromeda under the current system. So I'm not sure how well it would actually, You're fine, walk it off. How well it would compare directly to this.
You smell that? I'd bet my badge that's wood smoke from a campfire. They're close. Be ready.
Having said that, I think Andromeda actually has a lot of similarities to this game. In that Andromeda has elements of good gameplay without connecting systems to really capitalize on it. For example, the Nomad, the jetpack, and the general gunplay in Andromeda are legit, but the encounter design, enemy design, and boss design are absent or are lacking or absent entirely. So while the combat's fun, there's nothing really fun to do the combat with. To flip this a little bit, the leveling system in Andromeda is great and has the perfect respec thing. So there's a lot of build gameplay. Once again, not really a lot to do with it. So, kind of a mixed bag. Their name is literally Ruffian.
You mean that whole thing was a setup to keep the Rangers distracted?
That don't concern you. If the Rangers get in our way, then they get what they deserve. That's all you need to know. Now quit complaining and get back to your post.
Are you really making me do this game? Do you want me to walk into the middle of an enemy encampment and chat with someone whose name is Ruffian Leader?
Look who's here. Ms. Wagner called in the cavalry. Except it ain't much of a cavalry. I suggest you turn around and walk away while you still can.
What do you want with the Wagner farm?
Oh, it ain't exactly the farm that's special, but that ain't none of your business.
Okay, why don't you answer some questions for me then, please?
You think you're in a position to make demands?
Little bit.
Well, I've got news for you. All you're getting from me is a shallow grave.
Oh, okay.
So, got any last words I should try to remember?
Yeah, I killed the Terramorphs.
Hostile in area!
Like, all of them, everywhere. Like, I ended the Terramorph threat. So... you know. I'm about to kill you with a mining laser.
Another day, another kill.
And that may sound like a brag, but no. I want you to really think about what this feels like for the person who I'm very slowly melting their flesh in very concentrated beams, inch by inch, as I just make sure to peel away, just peel all that out. There we go. And, for God's sakes.
Gonna bury you, scab!
And now you're dead. Any questions?
Damn, that was a lot rougher than I expected. Let's talk.
No, I'm good. And yeah, she keeps wielding a knife, which keeps weirding me out a little bit. Let's sleep for an hour to recover, because I haven't got rid of that status effect. Oh, it's still there. That's strange. I figured sleeping would get rid of that. I think that was armor, which is why I immediately didn't pick it up. Yep, that is a helmet armor. Here, let's check how terrible this thing is, shall we? I'm gonna laugh if it's better than Grand Ground's helmet. Nope. Not bad. It's worth some money. Actually, that's not really worth a lot of money either. Never mind. Get rid of that crap. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Are you okay?
That's an interesting question. Can we equip the fan? I thought we were dead for sure.
I know what you mean. Let's search the area. Maybe we can find something that explains what these guys were up to.
Sure.
Likewise.
Hang on. So where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, God. I threw it on the ground.
You're looking as There's always room.
Okay, so I want you to take... I think that's actually better. So take that. And then the Mantis pack and the tank pack. You gonna put all that on?
Let me know if you want to talk some more.
Go ahead. Put on the gear? Maybe? Damn. Alright, whatever. It's worth a thought. So which is better, unique weapons and items or legendary effects? What's the difference, Desperado Joe? Job's done. No, but what's the difference, Desperado Joe? If a unique weapon is unique, then it probably has some kind of unique ability or effect to it. If you have a weapon with unique abilities or effects on it, then at what point, what's the difference between the two? I don't see any distinction. I'm sorry, I will be right back. Visually? I appreciate a good-looking gun as much as the next person. But I'll usually take effects over that. Like, let me try to presume your question. Would I rather have a gun that looks like that, or a gun that looks like any other gun, but when you shoot it, it goes... Because I'll take the second one, if that's the case. Also, the 1911 is a great gun. Moving on. Pretty much James Carmichael. Pretty much. It's, well, this is only the third BRPG we've ever covered on this show. That is to say, under a proper review. Having said that, I will go ahead and say that, as of this moment in time, and keep in mind we're not quite done with the game, but as of this moment in time, I would call this the worst BRPG I've ever played. Surpassing what I previously would put on that pedestal, which I will not tell you what it is, because then I will immediately lose every tidbit of gamer cred I've ever had. Let's read the stupid thing. Job's done. Yeah, it's Morrowind. It's Morrowind. I've never been quiet about that. I think Morrowind is going to score the second worst when we get there.
We should check the place out. Find anything interesting?
Yeah.
Let's see what we have here. Interesting. So, their ship was stolen from the Hope Tech factory. Whoever pulled that off must have been one hell of a shipjacker. Well, I guess someone really wants that farm bad. Speaking of which, let's get back there and let Miss Wagner know that she's safe. For now.
I have a tremendous amount of nostalgia for Morrowind. The main story quest chain in that game is decent. There's quite a bit of good writing in it, and some aspects of good, what I would call level design under normal circumstances. But you have to understand, we don't review slices of a game when it comes to reviewing. We review as much of a game as is possible, feasible, and reasonable. Now I want you to tell me with a straight face that you actually think that a review of as much of Morrowind as possible is going to review particularly well. Yeah, that includes the Imperial Cult. That includes the Mages Guild. We'll have to pick and choose, because there's mutually exclusive stuff. Not that it really matters. That includes trying to hit random side quest stuff and probably some tribal quests. We'll have to join one of the great houses. Those quests suck. There are aspects of Morrowind I adore. It will absolutely get some positives. And I have no problem saying that it was a great game for its time. It was a great game to get lost in. I think it's actually a better way to phrase that. It was a game to walk around in and pretend you lived there for a while, right? But even when I used to play it back in the day, I used to mod the crap out of it in order to make it a better game.
What's the news?
Point in fact, I'm not sure I've ever played Morrowind. In fact, I know I've never played Morrowind all the way through. But I don't think I've ever played Morrowind to any substantial degree without modding. So this might actually be our first mod-free playthrough when we get to the BRPG blog. That's a good question, Mr. Red. It depends on how faithful they are. And forgive me for sounding insulting, but one of the things I dislike the most about a remake is when it tries to be too faithful.
What happened? Did you find those men?
Yeah, we killed their faces off.
I'd always heard the Freestar Rangers were dependable, and now I've seen it firsthand. So who were they? And why do they want my farm?
Good question. They wouldn't talk.
So I have no way of knowing if there aren't more coming. Guess I'll start sleeping with a gun nearby. I can't thank you enough. I'd hate to be remembered as the wagoner who couldn't hold on to the farm that's been in the family for so long.
Just doing our job, ma'am.
Of course. All the same, I'm grateful.
If you have any more trouble, give us a call. We're in system, so it won't take long to get someone out here. All right, Deputy. Let's get back to the Rock. We need to report this to the Marshal.
That's a good question, Authority. Counter question. Are you including procedurals in that? Now, obviously, I know procedurals are, like, infinite. But, like, if we count that as part of the padding, is that something you're counting in the percentage in your question? Yes, sorry, Von Falkenstein. We finished the Vanguard quest chain. It started off great, and then it got terrible. I really hope the MSQ just magically knocks it out of the park. I really do.
I hear the hitching post is an excellent place to stop and have a drink. Do they mean coffee when they say that?
Good, Linnea Ruth.
Got a freighter coming soon.
Also, hi, Linnea Ruth. So, the amount of content I would say we have skipped by axing secondary content, I would say is probably about... Let me put some real thought into that for a second. I'd say it's about 70% of the game that we axed out by skipping all the secondaries. Give or take. I don't know, James Carmichael.
Hey, Deputy.
These Rangers are some hard-blooded.
Meanwhile, I'm pretending to be Lunarith here. I'm just kidding. Lunarith has way better oxygen control than this frickin' asthmatic 17 packs a day idiot.
I'm proud to be helping the Freestar Rangers.
I'm sorry. Gush. But, like, this doesn't look like a sci-fi area to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Where's the stairs? Oh, God, where's the stairs? Where's the stairs up? Because those are the stairs down. Where's the stairs up? Aha! I have found them. See you around that.
What's the story on Montero Luna?
That call we got from Wagoner Farm turned out to be a little more interesting than I was expecting. Some men were trying to run the Wagoners off their land. They tried to buy it first, but when that didn't work, they turned to threats. We confronted them, and unfortunately, it came to violence. None of them survived.
You helped someone in need and came back alive. That's a job well done.
Damn right. There are still some unanswered questions, though.
I agree. Until we see the whole picture, we won't know if Miss Wagner is truly safe. What did you make of these men who were trying to take the farm?
They were tough and well-armed, and probably mercs.
If that's true, then someone must have hired them. Now, did you find anything that might give us a lead on why these men wanted the farm?
Actually, yeah. Something about stealing a ship from Hope Tech.
Hope Tech ships ain't exactly cheap. That thief could probably tell us a lot about these men you ran into.
There's something else. They were dressed in Freestar militia uniforms. The unit badge was yellow on black with the number 1. Didn't you fight in the Colony War, Marshal? That sound familiar at all?
The 1st Cavalry. I was in that unit for a while. But it was disbanded decades ago. After the Battle of Nera. What was left of it, anyway.
So... what was the Colony War?
Hell, it's our only lead. The Hope Tech factory is in Hope Town on Polvo. Nia Kalu's our ranger stationed out there. She can introduce you to Ron Hope, the president of Hope Tech. He might be able to help you find the thief. Just make sure you stay on his good side. He's on the Council of Governors, and they're the ones we answer to.
Well, the good news is every single one of the politicians in this game have been well-reasoned, thoughtful, and helpful.
Good. The last thing I need is the Council breathing down my neck. This is your assignment now, Deputy. Work with the other Rangers. Find out what you can about those men on Montero Luna. Meantime, I'll look into a possible connection with the 1st Cavalry. Good hunting.
You know, to go back to that procedural thing for just a second. Not that this is, obviously, but like, just to talk about it. There's a type of quest chain that I tend to hate.
Mayday! This is Freestar Ranger Nia Kalu. If anyone is hearing this, system's failing. Need help. I repeat, need help.
This is Freestar Collect to Space. Hold while we scan your ship. Scan complete. You're clear to land.
So, as I was trying to say, there's one type of quest chain I tend to hate. You've probably seen this before. Alright, I'm gonna need you to go and accomplish this objective for me. Remember, we need to find more information about the Takoidas. We know the Takoida gang are trying to push, I don't know, what's a game Takoida likes? Push the Factorio, which is this brand new drug, onto the market. So you need to hunt them down, take care of them wherever you... oh, orange paint, that's even better. It's this orange paint they're trying to push onto the market. So you got to hunt them down and do whatever you can about it. Now, hang on. So what then happens is you go get a random procedurally generated quest and go do a random procedurally generated quest. But after the end of the quest, which has nothing to do with anything, it's like, At the end of the quest, all right, we found some evidence on the coitus. Turns out that ship you just blew up in the middle of nowhere had a little bit of orange paint on it. So we're going to have you go and check out on that. So you go do another randomly procedurally generated quest. And do another randomly procedurally generated quest. And at the end of it, they're like, okay, so, you know that random dude you just scanned on this completely unrelated planet? Well, he had methitine and belanine all over his pants. And that's one of the prime ingredients for orange paint. I think we're narrowing down on the subject. But go do a third procedural mission. And that way, we'll have accomplished enough wheel spinning necessary to actually get on with the plotline. And if that sounds made up, then you have not been playing some of the games that I have. I tend to really, really grit my teeth at that kind of stuff. And if you want a specific example, Star Wars Galaxies comes to mind immediately. Oh, God. No, it's fine, Colgrim. It's fine. It's fine. Listen, we might have had, like, all kinds of contraband cargo on board our ship, okay? They had to figure it out. And I'll tell you exactly what happened, though, because I could guarantee you exactly what happened. So every time you warp into a system that's a settled system, there's a random dice chance, a random dice roll, to have your ship scanned for contraband. It happens even if you're transporting to the planet, as into a warp point, planet side, not just into orbit. It'll interrupt the fast travel to force the contraband scan. Now that by itself is already irritating, and I've already dinged the game for it. At bare minimum of 3 days, Walker. Bare minimum. Probably closer to 5. Anyways, so yeah, it's the game pretending there's some kind of activity in space. There's not. So what happened there was we showed up, and there was a script trigger for once we warp in for her to be like, oh my God, help me. You gotta save me. And the thing is, we also rolled a 5 on the dice, which meant that we also got the random contraband scan. Now, here's the funny part. When it comes to programming, there's something called a priority. There's several different ways to design this, and I don't actually know the proper programming term. Please correct me if you know it. But priority is exactly what it sounds like. It's how a program determines which things goes first if 2 things are triggered at the same time. Which means, intentionally or otherwise, the contraband scan was something that had higher priority than the primary optional quest we're doing right now. So, the contraband scan overrode the cutscene and the call for help. And yeah, I know, Grace. I've actually already seen it.
Please tell me you're here to help, not to try and steal my ship.
Well, it's a nice ship, but no, I ain't here to steal it.
Yeah, well, if you want to keep that badge, then don't get any ideas. This old girl and I have been through a lot together. I was tracking a crew of outlaws that's been preying on merchant ships. Bastards got the drop on me. I ran them off, but they got a few good hits in. As you can see, I ain't in much shape to make repairs.
I hate to be persnickety, but why are you acting like you were in a firefight after having been in a dogfight in your spaceship? Why are you in... I'm sorry, do I need to explain to you how combat works in a spaceship? Maybe they boarded. Okay. Where are the corpses? Did I miss something? There's not even any blood. There's no damage. There's no corpses. There's no armor. There's no anything. They ate the corpses! Oh my God! We found the White Glove Society. Yeah, no smoke, no damage. Let's see, have I played Dungeon Master? I don't think I have. Well, maybe I have. It's one of those first-person ones. I played a bunch of those, but I'm going to be 100% honest with you, Von Falkenstein. I couldn't tell you any of those first-person dungeon games from the other at a glance, so I'm not sure is the answer to you. She fell off her chair. Oh my God. She was just like, oh, I'm so damaged. I can't repair my ship.
Please tell me you're here to help. Welcome aboard, Deputy. I was tracking a bastard's got the drop on me. As you can see.
Yeah, let's go.
Just patch her up enough to get to Hopetown. The rest can get fixed up there.
Listen, central design documents are nonsense. Nobody needs to coordinate in a gargantuan multi-hundred-person project across 8 years of project time. That's insanity.
Thanks. I owe you one.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Oh my God. And at least $200 million that we know of. Oh man, these repairs. Why do you sleep? Oh, that's probably a brig. Never mind. I was going to say, why do you sleep in a red room? Out of the way, out of the way. What the? Oh my God. Okay, that was strange. Ah, one more up, one more up. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Listen, I'm not inclined to give Bethesda any doubts or benefits at this point in time. I like this bridge, though. This is sharp.
Thanks. That should get me home.
You know, I used to work as a network engineer for a podunk little data center, Zeiss. We had central documents. In fact, actually, we had one per customer, which may sound strange, but no, the point was that each customer has different requirements and different points of contact. So we needed some kind of centralized, organized way to, if something goes wrong with a specific customer, how to get a contact with whom and what, right? But no. That's just crazy talk. So, happy to help.
Good. There aren't many of us out there. So it makes all our lives easier when we can help each other out.
Weren't you the winning side of a major interstellar war 20 years ago?
They were pretty beat up, so I don't think they got real far. But if they make it back to their hideout, I might never find them again. We can't let that happen.
Tell me where they're headed.
They look to be heading for Polvo's moon Miatha. Good hunting.
Cool. Now, if it's okay with you, I'm going to warp there, standing right in front of you rather than go to my ship, because there's no point in doing anything else. Of course I can't fast travel from this location. That's insanity. Why would I be able to fast travel? Don't be stupid. Yeah. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah. Let me jump. What the hell are you doing, game? What the crap? Okay, fine. Fine. What? What? Okay. I was trying to avoid doing exactly what I'm doing right now. Use the ladder. But the game really wanted me to use this ladder. So there you go, game. I used your goddamned ladder. Are you happy now that I have done this? Is this happiness? Is this what happiness feels like? This bright spot of joy? Well, guess what? I'm still just going to warp there instantly, just like I was going to anyways. And then the game's going to crash. That's our first crash. Huh. The game really didn't like the fact that I wasn't using that ladder. Probably the ladders are, but yeah, I know. That's what I just said. Yeah, it's okay. The next game we're playing is FF14, a very frustrating game. Oh, God. It's okay. It's okay. We can do this. Wait, that's the wrong game. Wait, wait! I just hit play on the wrong game. And if you don't understand why that's funny, we'll give it a second for the game to load. Or not? Hello? Did someone kill the bot? Someone did kill the bot. I knew it. Killing my bot. What the hell is going on here? So this was the game that I launched by accident. Because I haven't actually uninstalled Oblivion yet. Try it again. My brain was just going, I must play. Let's just play Oblivion. All in favor? Hey, Todd. Todd, we need to have a chat. Todd, buddy, can I play Oblivion, please, instead of your trash game that just came out that is trash compared to a game that came out? I can't do math. 17 years earlier. Todd, don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that, Todd. All right, fine. We'll play your trash game. Oh my God, Todd, no! So I have just received a priority message from Todd Howard. It says, no! Play Sky Starfield. Whoever that actually is, thank you very much. You want to put that towards up to 3 things, please let me know. Oh man, I can't wait for Starfield to come out like 8 more times on every system for the next like decade. That's going to be so great. Each update will break every mod for it too.
Take them apart!
Hi. I have like 4 particle cannons. Which I still haven't upgraded. I need to do that at some point. Yeah, we gotta have Starfield Game of the Year, Starfield 8K Remaster, Starfield Anniversary, Starfield 2nd Anniversary.
Please hold your current speed and heading while we scan you for contraband.
Yeah. Do we need a better ship?
You're good to go.
That's an interesting question. All things being considered equally. Whoops, wrong button. Where are we at on that? We need to kill 16 more ships to access Class Bs. And then we have to have Starfield upscaled and Starfield descaled. Starfield descaled, the D-Master, is actually just regular Starfield, but don't tell anybody. Alright, we're going down here, aren't we? Oh, yeah, Starfield Lite on the Switch too. Starfield Pixel Edition. Starfield VR. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, Midfist.
Look at us, exploring new biomes, meeting new pets.
Now, don't put yourself down like that, adoring fan. You're much more than a pet than me. Good evening, La Daga de Circe. Hope your day's going well. Right, let's sell some stuff while we're here. What we got? Get rid of that nonsense. I guess that's it, actually. Well, then... Get rid of that thing. You know, that's actually a really valid point, Midfist. I didn't even think about that. Oh man, I can't wait for all the Starfield mods for Stellaris, which will definitely be a real thing. So, GameGeek sends a message, which I'm going to share, which says, "Stop right there, criminal scum. Nobody breaks the law on my watch. I'm confiscating your stolen goods. Now pay your fine or it's off to jail." And I, of course, am accidentally pull up my weapon. "You should have paid the fine!" And then I'm going to kill GameGeek. And then like 50 other people who look strangely exactly like GameGeek. Until finally I reload the save. Because there's no winning that scenario. Thank you, GameGeek, very much. Now that we've reloaded the save, and I haven't actually accomplished any crimes now in this timeline, I'll put that towards DBZ Kakarot, MLPG 5, and Gravity Falls. That's a good point. Do you have a planet, GameGeek? Because if you don't, oh.
Keep an eye on your valuables.
Same as usual, except now
That's a good point. I did actually commit a horrible crime. I read someone else's emails and then got press ganged into a suicide mission.
Except for the factory.
RLOU. Help me out, Von Falkenstein. See you around, Desperado Joe. Enjoy the grits. Enjoy the bacon. Apparently I need to talk to you.
You made it.
Oh my god.
Didn't give you too much trouble.
Ah! No trouble at all.
Good. I'm sure it didn't hurt that I softened him up for you.
Oh, last
You
of
got
us.
good timing. A courier just came in from Aquila. The Marshal sends his regards along with a briefing on your case. I was surprised as hell to learn about the starship theft. Nobody said a word to me about it. Anyway, Mr. Hope can see us whenever you're ready. If you need to take a little time first, feel free.
Nah, let's go.
His office is upstairs. He's in a meeting, but it should be wrapping up. Come on.
So here's a random question. Is the show an interpretation of the game, or is it just a retelling of the game?
I'm guessing the
Chemists have all the solutions.
Ron Hope isn't just the founder and president of Hope Tech. He's on the Council of Governors. The Council oversees the Freestar Rangers, so don't rile him up. I've spent a long time trying to build a good relationship with Hope. He comes on a little strong, but there's a lot to admire about the man.
Oh god, he's evil, isn't he?
Around you, he built. Pretty much everyone in this town owes him for their livelihood. Can't begin to imagine the kind of pressure that must put on someone. All I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
he's evil.
try to show a little respect.
Got it. Super evil. Understood.
All the way up. Is it just me, or does every executive in the settled systems have an office on the top floor? I guess being above everyone makes them feel like they're, well, above everyone.
Just keep it holstered. We'll get along fine.
You got it.
I guess I could offer double shifts. It'll push payroll pretty high, but I think it's a worthwhile trade-off. As for parts, we could try outsourcing. Do a contract with scavengers, maybe, but that's a decision that's got to be made upstairs.
Talk to Elaine about this scavengers.
Is that...
It's not a bad idea, provided we get a good deal. And I don't mean a fair deal. I mean a good deal.
Wes Johnson. My God, have I missed you in this game.
Remember, it's not just our bottom line that matters. We're also responsible for the welfare of everyone in the factory.
So now I know with total certainty that he's evil, because he's voiced by Wes Johnson.
We look out for our people here, Burchett. That's a point of great personal pride.
Excuse me, Mr. Hope?
Well now, the Freestar Rangers. At last! Ah, damn good to see you, Mia. I think we're done here, Burchett.
Yes, sir.
This is the deputy I told you about.
Splendid. Splendid! It's a noble calling being a Freestar Ranger. We certainly could use more of you. Let's get down to it, shall we? Time is money. I'm sure I don't have to tell you what an outrage it is to have a ship stolen right out of the factory. Justice must be done, and the sooner the better.
So I found your ship on the Montera Luna.
That's good news. I'll send my people over to bring it home. Of course, that doesn't mean your work is done. I want the thief found and prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I'm sure I don't need to remind you of my position on the Council of Governors.
You got it. Also, here I want to jump in really quick here for just a second. So let's be clear, Wes Johnson is not the best voice actor in the known universe. I can in fact name quite a few better voice actors than him. But what he is a very experienced and enjoyable voice actor. Like, it's a treat hearing the man, right? He knows how to ham it up in just the right ways. And I say that without hyperbole. This is not a meme thing. This is not a nostalgia thing. He is enjoyable to listen to. It helps that Wes Johnson's a pretty cool guy in real life, too. So, the reason I bring all of that up is because if any other character in this entire game had a read on a line like he just did, I would assume it was just bad voice direction like it has been for the entire rest of the game, and go right over it. Just completely ignore what happened. But what he just said, he has, we told him, hey, we found your ship, and his response was almost stuttering, like, that's good news. Means he wasn't expecting that to happen, means he's behind it. Sorry, I apologize. The point here being, well, this is a bit threadbare, and I don't want to overpraise, what we're seeing is some honest-to-God voice direction, which is actually indicating, via the delivery, characterization. As opposed to just, someone reading some lines into a phone, and then sending those across the country to Montreal or whatever. I just wanted to point out the distinction, the difference between the two. Mr. Hope, you can count on me.
I'm glad we understand each other. Now, tell me that you've at least got a lead of some kind.
I do. It was delivered to a group of men who were trying to acquire a farm.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised. Sadly, there's no lack of mercenaries in the settled systems. I suppose the chance to cut costs by stealing a ship was too good to pass up. Well, I'm not sure I can be much help, but I'll answer whatever questions I can.
Almost assuredly, Wenlock. I should mention, voice direction is actually more expensive and frustrating and time-consuming than voice acting, if that makes any sense. Let me explain that really quick. I can hire 20 voice actors right now. In real life, I, the real-life person, without the budget of Bethesda, could go to one of the many voice acting websites, of which there are quite a few, and grab 20 freelancers right now, and just toss them lines and say, voice this. That will not be expensive. It's very fire and forget. I plug in their lines. I'm done. But if I wanted those 20 voice actors to get a good performance, then I'm going to have to sit down and either in person or in some kind of document, which I have to type up, or in some kind of video, which I have to record up, I have to give them the direction each time. I effectively double my workload by giving proper direction, because each actor needs a comparison director. That also means retakes and talking back and forth, because the direction isn't always necessarily correct. Sometimes the voice actors can have insight into a line too. And so you see how voice direction is the kind of thing I tend to come down on so harshly when it comes to game design, is because, well, let's just say that what I just described is actually pretty common, to just toss out lines to someone and say, here, read these. Given the extraordinary quantity of lines wrote in this game, I almost guarantee you that the majority of these lines were fired off to someone who recorded it into a booth and then went home that night. Thank you, TSB. So, let's see. Why didn't you report the theft?
Because I told them not to. If word got out, it would do irreparable harm to our image. I'm in fierce competition with other starship manufacturers. Any sign of weakness could be fatal. What's more, every starship thief in the settled systems would likely flock to Hopetown and start planning the next heist.
Gotcha. So you're terrible. Understood. Are voice actors paid by the hour? That's an interesting question. The answer is it depends. Hey, Korgoth. There are several standards for voice acting. It's usually either by line or, sorry, by segment, but it's usually written as about. So by line, by word, or by hour. Very rarely it will also be by project. I've actually done a lot of research on this, as you might imagine, and the problem is there isn't really what you'd call an actual standard here. There's standards per each of these styles of pay, and there's industry averages based on each of these types of tracking, but there's not really a standard you get X amount of money per activity kind of a thing when it comes to voice acting. So in this case, I have no idea. It's entirely possible for a studio this big, getting this many voice actors for a game this large, that they pay people by the line, by the hour, by the project, and by the word, depending, right? The thief had inside help. Do you know anything about that?
What? Nonsense! We vet our people thoroughly here. Hoptech holds its employees to the very highest standards. Nevertheless, I suppose I could have Cosette conduct a thorough personnel review. Rest assured, if we turn up any evidence that one of our people was an accomplice, I'll let you know.
Did anyone see the thief?
We questioned everyone who was in the building when it happened, and not one person seems to have seen anything at all. Frankly, I think that's both highly unlikely and more than a little suspicious. However, I can't deny there are times when the hangar is empty, so it's not inconceivable the thief could have slipped in unseen.
No, actually, Wes Johnson is in Morrowind. He played the Bosmer, I believe. I want to say the generic Bosmer lines. I can hear his voice saying the line, but I can't picture the line. Help me out here, somebody in chat. Like chunk, chunk, with their terrible walk animation in Morrowind, and then he's like, "Can I help you?" or something like that. Like I can just picture it in my head. But no, Wes Johnson was actually in Morrowind. I don't know if that was his first. I do know that I can't even think of his name. You know, whatever.
No, nothing at all. It was just a standard Hope Tech cargo hauler. Not that it didn't have great value, mind you. Hope Tech builds some of the most durable and reliable starships in the settled systems. You can bet my ships last twice as long as anything Stroud Eklund makes.
Bretons is who I was thinking of specifically, Colgrim.
Very well. I need you to understand something, Deputy. This town is home to men, women, and children who depend on Hope Tech for a living. I provide jobs that put food on their tables and a roof over their heads. It's a responsibility that I take very seriously. If word gets out about the stolen ship, my investors will lose trust, and my workers will pay the price. I can't allow that.
I understand your position.
I hope so.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Hope, but there's been a development.
Not now, Cosette. I'm in the middle of something.
But sir, we have new information. I've just received a report that the stolen ship was seen landing at Neon just after the theft.
A breakthrough at last. Well, Deputy, it sounds like you'll be heading to Neon, which means I can get back to work. Remember what we discussed. My people are depending on you.
Yeah, so he's evil, and we're going to get a chance to turn him in or not. Guaranteed. We will, of course, turn him in, because... Stop right there, criminal scum. Wow.
Hey, can I get a word?
Okay. You want to talk? Okay. There's barely... I agree, Colgrim. Although, it's not, like, great so far. It's just kind of here.
That wasn't as helpful as it could have been. Still, at least you know where to pick up the trail.
It's enough to go on.
Let's hope. So, guess you're headed for Neon. There's a ranger stationed there. Name's Jalen Price. He's a little different than the rest of us. But Neon's a different kind of place.
Jalen Price. Got it. Let's go.
He should be able to help you out. Well, we've both got work to do. It was good to meet you, Deputy. Thanks again for helping me out up there.
Yeah, you're welcome. Peace.
No problem. Good luck on Neon, Deputy.
Oh, yes, of course. You're doing a great job.
I mean, we could Lunareth, but nah, we'll just turn him in. As we should. We are law-abiding citizens, after all. We are first citizens, even. We're going through Freestar, Quebec. Yeah, I do like how everyone other than the Crimsons has actually treated us like we're a person instead of a slab of meat.
Let loose in Neon. Maybe we should give you an alias. Never know what the paparazzi will print otherwise.
Alright, see you around, Quebec.
Hey, I don't care who you work for. You can't just... Oh, you're the rookie, aren't you?
Yeah, you must be Price.
The one and only. Well, the Marshal's message said you were following a lead about a stolen ship. Truth is, a lot of stolen goods flow through here, but this city is real good at keeping its secrets, even from us.
I'm sure the people of Neon want to uphold the law.
Yeah, about that. This isn't Aquila City. The badge doesn't carry the same weight here. The people who run this place aren't overly concerned about the law. Our job is to keep the peace, make sure the violence doesn't get out of hand.
No, we have. I think we picked up that quest, Kevik. And by picked up, I mean walked through a alleyway. But we have not done it.
The last thing anyone around here wants is some hotshot deputy looking in every dark corner.
The law and justice are not flexible concepts. They are absolutes.
Rookies. Your stolen ship would have had to land at the spaceport. If it was right off the factory floor, it would have stood out. There's a guy I know, Billy Clayton, does maintenance work around the city and keeps an eye on ship traffic for me. I'll introduce you, but don't expect a favor. Even if it doesn't cause credits, nothing in Neon is free.
It's okay. I've got infinite of this laser cutter on. Got their name all over it.
Come on.
Let me just pull my old beat. We should name this thing. We should name the cutter. High Warcraft code. I feel like hell. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to get like strychnine or just some kind of poison, right? Some kind of lethal poison. And then
Hold it right there. You're under arrest.
Pretty impressive how you volunteered to help out with the bank heist.
for what?
Yeah, I read all the reports. You learn quickly that a Neon...
What? Why do I have a 10,000 credit fine? What?
Why do I always get the dumb ones?
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Don't tell me that finally kicked in. Here we go. I like how we still have laceration. That's just never going away, apparently. We do currently have a bounty. No, you don't get information on stuff like that in these games. It's just, you know. Like, you see my murders list at 0? Yeah, that's... So we talk about quitting points, right? I talk a lot about quitting points in a video game. I'm going to be 100% honest. Even though this is the kind of problem I could completely just hand wave away effortlessly, even without cheating, this is so irritating, I'd probably put the game down right now, just for this. That's just 36th of my income. And I'd still nuke this game right now. Just because, I'm sorry, what?
Hey, I don't care who. Oh.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
One and only. Well, the marshals...
Real simple Warcraft code. I need you to put it into 2 cups of water. And then we're going to sit down, we're going to do these, we're going to do this, and then you have to pick one of the cups to drink from.
Good. You're stolen. There's a guy I'll introduce you. Come on.
All right, let's go get arrested.
You're under arrest. No sudden moves.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Here you go.
You're coming with us.
Yep. All right, cool. So now that that's cleared...
James Newell better watch his back.
I didn't have any contraband. I'm not actually a criminal, so that is now dealt with. Can we get on with this, please?
You didn't hear this.
We've got your application now at the nearest kiosk.
Yeah, no penalty, no negative whatsoever. Here's 10 grand. Go away.
What stood out to me was that you didn't lose a single hostage. No wonder the marshal tried to recruit you right away. If he hadn't, would have made him look like a fool, having some random stranger step in and do the job he couldn't. Now, if someone tried to hold up a bank here, they'd be gunned down without a moment's hesitation. Hostages or not. There are two things you don't do in Neon. One, you don't mess with Bayou's money, and two, you don't...
I'm sorry, what? I couldn't hear you. Because you transitioned to a new zone line. Yeah, imagine Fallout, but worse in every way. And you've kind of got Starfield. Fallout 3, specifically.
You understand.
Fallout 4. Fallout 4.
That's why you just told me that you won't cause trouble. Keep that in mind, and you'll fit right in.
Yep, I won't cause trouble. Didn't you just get arrested for murder? Yeah, but I paid that off already. Oh, okay. Listen, it's fine, Warcraft code. What's going to happen is you're going to put the cups down, then I'm going to shoot you. Yep, social credit score restored. Remember, Warcraft code, never deal with a Sicilian when death is on the line. Can you please hurry up? The whole point of a walk and talk cutscene is to, and this is critical, walk and talk. You're missing 50% of the equation here.
What? Oh, it's you. Give me a good scare. I thought you were one of Goodman's people.
If you think about it, yeah, far from it. Our new deputy here is working a case, and I thought you might be able to help. Take it away, rookie. Word of advice. Be careful whose bad side.
What do you need?
Give me everything.
A stolen Hope Tech ship, huh? Well, here's the thing. Neon's got no end of shipjackers. I see them come and go every day. It's tough for a guy to remember one from the other. You know what I mean? Credits ain't really what I need. There is something you could do for me.
I hate you. I hate you. I want you to go over with me. Come here, come here. I'm going to walk over to the edge of the cliff side, okay? And you're going to stand there with me, and I'm going to give you a choice, okay? You can jump, or I can shoot you in the back of the head. One of these things will be quicker, but the other one will give you a chance of survival. Your choice. I'm feeling generous today.
Help you? But right now my life is in danger, and I haven't even done anything wrong. Freestar Rangers are supposed to protect the innocent, right?
Can we get on with this, please?
Then you need to hear this. It's about my brother. He died while still in debt to a syndicate loan shark by the name of Emmett Goodman. Now, Goodman's coming after me to collect. He says if I don't pay up, I'm a dead man.
Got it. I'll go kill him.
I swear it on my best set of wrenches. Goodman's holed up in one of the warehouses on Epside. Place is locked up tight, but there's a guard who watches the door, and he's got the key.
I'll stay with Billy in case Goodman's men come to collect. They're not stupid enough to tangle with me.
Did you even notice that the guy turns down money when money is exactly the problem that he's having? Like, I don't mind having to actually go do a quest, because, you know, quests are cool and all. But, like, usually the quest option to pay your way through a quest doesn't make sense, and yet here it makes perfect sense. Also, Warcraft code, do you really think I need a gun to kill you? Come on, man. Give me some credit. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding to disrespect me like I am some kind of common criminal? Is that what this is? Is that what you think of me? You think I'm some common 2-bit thug? Yes.
Can you
Bye. Yeah, I just sit there and I talk, and you're like, wait, how do I end the conversation? I'm like, no, you can't end the conversation until I'm done talking to you. Because this is a Bethesda game, right? So you just sit there and just very, very slowly dehydrate to death while I'm talking to you.
This is private property.
Cool. Let me get the key here. There we go. Hi. Okay, you don't exist.
Just keep walking.
I'm sorry. Hold up. Did that literally not ding me for that at all? Yeah, okay.
Gonna open you up. You seem to be an organ donor.
Did he just throw his gun at me? He just threw his gun at me. Like that was going to stop. I know that's not literally what happened. Oh, sorry.
Your aim is immaculate, so I suspect something must be wrong with your weapon.
I didn't join.
So sorry. What actually? That was really funny. What happened there? Because I've seen this before in these kind of games. If you disarm them, the gun goes it goes ragdoll immediately. So what happened was he pulled out that gun, and I accidentally shot it out of his hands. And so he pulled out the other gun, but because he was doing the pull out animation, it went flying as soon as it ragdolled out of his thing. So it looked like he threw his gun at me. Oh. Sorry for ruining the magic. Yeah, this that looks new. Because we've had a Coachman before. We've had that exact model and everything. But this thing, where is it? There it is. Okay. I'm not going to save in case that all doesn't work out well, but I'm going to laugh if that was a totally valid way to deal with this situation. And yes, we have the difficulty cranked down, which, as a fresh reminder, only does two things to the difficulty. It lowers their health, and it lowers their damage. Which I point out because if you think these enemies are health spongy, please remember, they have the minimum amount of health at the moment.
What I don't sell, ends up in
And yes, I have already dinged the game for lazy difficulty. It's not as bad as Oblivion. Nothing is as bad as Oblivion's difficulty, but not great. Well, that's true, Inamisho. I think you missed it earlier. Because I was also using a freaking minigun earlier, which was not doing jack nor crap to the boss I was fighting. So, no, I'm using the cutter because I'm leveling the cutter, but also because the other guns don't really do much more damage.
I've seen them at least 3 times now. Did you talk to Goodman?
Yes.
I didn't mean to put you in harm's way. I was hoping he'd come around when he saw you were a Freestar Ranger deputy.
Took me about a week on the job to learn that doesn't usually work around here.
Okay. Time for me to keep my end of the bargain.
Whatever they tell you, Evo, it's a lie.
Stealing ships is her line of work. She usually comes here to sell the goods. Rumor has it she just finished a job for some mercenary outfit, and she's been throwing money around, so it must have paid well.
I know her. When she isn't out on a job, she's a regular at Madame Sauvage's. That's on the upper platform. I'll back you up.
Cool. So, that's true if... Oh, okay, I have to assume that you're telling me the truth, Inamisho, and that is the worst gun. But if I can continue to complain about the weapons and continue to make my point, this gun wasn't really doing much. This gun wasn't really doing much. And this gun wasn't really doing much either, in addition to the minigun. In fact, actually, to be perfectly frank, every gun I've had in the entire game, with one exception, has been not doing a lot of damage. Or, put this very, very simply, the enemies have too much health.
I think I got them.
Now, that's not surprising. That's true for, like, every BRPG. And yeah, the cutter will eventually be a worthwhile weapon. That's why we're using it.
Oh, great. Just who I don't want to see.
Speaking of which, where are we at on that? We need 80 more kills.
A Freestar Ranger and his... What are you? A sidekick or something?
Yes.
Now that's what I call real conviction. So how come I'm talking to the sidekick instead of the ranger?
This is the deputy's case.
Is that so? And you had to bring backup just for little old me? I'm flattered. Anyway, this ain't my first interrogation, so let's just get on with it.
I really, really don't care about you.
That remains to be seen. I'm guessing this is the part where you tell me that you've got questions and that you expect me to answer them. That sound about right?
You stole the ship. People are in danger. Please help.
All right. So I jacked a ship. It was just a little fun. I didn't even keep it. It was a job. I turned it over to some men, and they took off for who knows where. End of story. Nothing I did put anyone in danger, okay?
So, they were mercenaries who threatened a woman to get her farm.
Hey, all I did was provide them with transportation. They didn't say anything about where they were going or why. Look, I wouldn't have got involved if I thought anyone would be hurt. I've got no love for violence.
You're a ship thief.
Asking questions is just as bad as giving consent. If that woman had been killed, you'd be an accessory to murder. Did you think about that?
No, I guess I didn't.
Just please help.
I do want to make things right. I was approached by a woman named Maya Cruz. Said she was a senior member of the First and that she had a job for me. She was working with someone inside Hope Tech and pitched me on the idea of jacking a ship right out of the factory. We were deep into planning the job when she had some kind of medical emergency. She said she needed surgery and would be in recovery for a long time. That was a few weeks ago. Haven't heard from her since.
I know what you meant, Warcraft Code. It's okay, just cover Asmongold by himself. You'll never run out of drama. Fake drama, of course. Artificially crafted drama, but it's still drama. She say where she was being treated?
No, but it sounded serious. She was upset. Seemed kind of shaken, you know? Didn't seem right I should pry, so I didn't.
No, Evo, I refuse to answer your question. Unless you do me a favor. And, ooh, garlic mushrooms and white wine. That sounds really good. Unless you just tell me what the question is, because please don't make me do that.
Not long after that, I got a message from a guy named Marco. He said he was the money man for the First, and he offered half up front. Never met him directly, though. It was always through intermediaries and using encrypted slates. Got the feeling he was paranoid as hell.
Do you have one of those encrypted slates on you right now?
Yeah. Here. Take it. I'm done with all this. Anything else you want to know?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
Next time you're at the Rock, you should give that encrypted slate to Ranger Alex Shadid. He's got a gift for cryptography. If anyone could crack that slate, it'll be him. I'm gonna head back. Good luck, Deputy.
Then I'm free to go.
Yeah.
Oh. You're welcome. Guess I ain't used to the law being so polite.
Yeah, well, I actually like to do my friggin' job. So, Evo actually asks a really, really good question, which is not unusual, because it's Evo asking the question. She says, do I, lore runner, feel invested in the quests and or immersed in the setting or the story? There was a comment made, pretty much...
Akira City. I envision you as the sheriff of this town, dueling ruffians at high noon. In your town, no one is above the law, except you.
So, one of the comments that was made right after Starfield came out was that Starfield was a poor man's Fallout without the beloved world of Fallout. And that sort of just banged around the back of my head for a while and just kind of sat there rattling in the empty, cavernous, vacuous, empty skull that is my brain. And it's been sticking with me ever since because I like the Fallout setting. Especially in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and yes, even in Fallout 4. A very problematic game that I nevertheless enjoyed several aspects of. Because there are aspects, vibes, atmospheres, tones to Fallout. We've actually been talking about this whole time, off and on. Fallout feels Fallout-y, for lack of a better way to put it, and it adds absolutely to my overall enjoyment. And at the end of the day, that's one of the things I care about most. Do you do it well? And honestly, I could say the same thing about Elder Scrolls in both Morrowind and in Oblivion. So, if at the end of the day, going back to Morrowind, for example, at the end of the day, for all the issues I have with Morrowind, is it still nice to get immersed in Vardenfell? Yeah, absolutely. It's probably one of the best things that Morrowind did overall, was that overall atmosphere, that vibe, that setting, feeling invested or immersed in the place. Which brings us to Starfield. Now, I am hesitant to level this particular insult at this game, because I have heard this insult leveled at my very own setting, the Extant. But what is there to distinguish Starfield from any other science fiction setting? Like, what is the vibe here? What's the distinction? What is the flavor of Starfield? What makes it stand out amongst things like Firefly, or Farscape, or Star Trek, or Star Wars, or Babylon 5? Honor Harrington. Anything else, really? Because so far, the setting has absolutely nothing in it. No, and this goes back to that lack of cohesion thing I've talked about several times. You know, Battletech, there's another one. Warhammer 40K, for God's sakes. The only thing I could come up with was the NASA punk vibe, DC Maven. And unfortunately, I don't think that really tracks, because the NASA punk thing is so in contradiction with the rest of the setting. The NASA punk is only really in one place in the whole game. The inside of the ships. This does... Hang on, let's make this point really quick. Let's save it real quick. This is not NASA punk, right? This is just... I don't even know what to call this. This is poor man's Red Dead Redemption, is what this is. Or, yeah, this is kind of Fallout. In fact, one of the things I keep saying constantly throughout this game is that this is just straight up Fallout. That a lot of the vibe and tone and atmosphere of the setting is just freaking Fallout. There have been entire dungeons we've done where I have jokingly called them vaults, but I don't really mean that as a joke. We have effectively done vaults. They're not literally vaults, but they're designed and styled, and the lighting effect and the presentation of it, and the horror and the present, it's a vault. It's a vault. And yeah, Neon, the place we literally just were right beforehand, is also not NASA punk. And this once again comes right back to that total lack of self-consistency. There is no vibe. There is no setting here. Now, Zeiss says there's going to be a setting in the MSQ. That's interesting. You'd think there'd be a setting outside the MSQ, But let's ignore the MSQ. Easy to do, because we have so far. If we ignore the MSQ, there is no Starfield setting. At all. Yeah, this is several other settings which have been crudely glued together. We've got a little bit of Cyberpunk. We've got a little bit of Starship Troopers. We've got a little bit of Star Trek. We've got a little bit of Fallout. We've got a little bit of Firefly. It's all just kind of glued together. So, that is a very good question, Evo. No, I do not feel like I am immersed in or invested in the setting at all. Wait, oh god! Okay, we're okay. Good question. Good question.
Your next stop wouldn't be the Charybdis system, would it?
Oh, 100%, Miranda. 100% they considered that at some point in the development process. I would be shocked if they didn't. I also bet you they probably had issues getting that functioning. No Man's Sky, a game devoted towards getting on and off your ship constantly and taking off and landing and taking off landing, is still kind of buggy and kind of janky about how that operates. And that's a game that was built around that concept at the floorboards. Tell me the cryo engine here, Creation Engine 2, excuse me, can actually accomplish something like a ship smoothly landing and taking off, and I'll call you a liar.
I'm proud to be helping the Freestar Rangers.
Hey, I wondered when you might come by. I'm Alex. Nia's report said you were heading for Neon? I've always wanted to go there. What did you think?
It sucked. Just like it did every other time. They arrested me for murder. It's okay, I paid the fine.
What? You serious? Well, that's a first. I guess not everyone likes to have a good time. Speaking of which, on to business. So how'd it go? Turn up anything useful?
Ranger Price says you can crack this sucker.
Did he now? Well, in that case, challenge accepted. It's only a matter of time before I know every dirty little secret stored in this thing. Now, if you get any more of these, bring them to me. It helps if I can compare different instances of the encryption they're using. Just look for me up here. I have no life, so I'm not usually hard to find.
Counting on you, Alex.
You're counting on me. You know I outrank you, right? Please and thank you go a long way when addressing your betters, rookie.
I will shoot you in the face. Is that better? Did I do it right? I can improve if you want. It's okay. It's not a gun. It'll slowly melt the flesh off of your bone, though.
I need a word. Welcome back. Any luck finding out who stole that ship from Hope Tech?
Yeah. Ranger Price helped out.
Glad you got a chance to meet him. Sounds like you're making real progress.
Yeah, how many of us, so many of us have said this during this stream. I hope Star Wars Outlaws is actually good. I have lost all hope for Elder Scrolls 6. That's done. It's dead. It's gone. Please let Star Wars Outlaws actually be good.
You're off to a good start, but that's all it is. A start. What did you learn from the Starship thief?
Anyway, 2 high-ranking first members, Maya Cruz, Marco.
Well done, Deputy. Sounds like you've got a couple of new leads to follow up on. I have a guess who Marco might be. I served with Maya Cruz. She's a technical genius and an expert hacker. I can give you some background if you want it, or we can go straight to planning your next move.
No, please just give me the info.
Like what?
No, let's just... Where would someone go for long-term medical treatment?
Most likely place would be the clinic. It's in Freestar Collective space and provides the best medical services credits can buy. They also guarantee privacy.
Reggie, this game had the A-team working on it.
So it's an ideal place for someone trying to keep a low profile. Ranger Ben Armistead is posted there. I'll send him an update on the situation.
How'd I find this jackass?
Around the time he got out of jail, we started hearing Marco's name in circulation. Word is he's heading up a smuggling racket. Based on what you've learned, I'd presume he's funneling his ill-gotten gains to the First. Ranger Autumn McMillan is out at Red Mile right now looking into the smuggling operation. I suggest you pool your resources. Just remember, that's outside Freestar Collective space, so we've got no jurisdiction there.
Cool.
Your priority is to gather more intel about the First. What are they planning? Who are they working for? Where are they headquartered? Just remember that your targets were locked up because they were loyal to their unit. They think the Freestar Collective betrayed them. In other words, you ain't gonna get a warm welcome, so be careful. Good hunting, Deputy.
And yeah, the Guillaume family can go directly to hell on Falkenstein. I actually agree with you on that. Well, let's go to the clinic. What's the name of the clinic? The clinic. Star Wars Outlaws is a Far Cry-styled game set in Star Wars where you play as a non-force using rando who like acts as a smuggler and has a ship, and it looks like it could actually be a legitimately good game, which naturally means that it will not be. Yeah, it's Ubisoft, so who knows? I'd like to say I have high hopes for it, but I'm not a very good liar. It is the first Star Wars game I've seen in an extremely long time that actually has me excited. Make of that what you will. Because let's be honest, the Star Wars games have been really dry and, well, not interesting for a really long time. Like, really, really long time. Like, I'm sorry. Because I know you're about to say, what about Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order? Those are the exceptions, and they are only two. In the last, about 14 years, there have been 2 Star Wars games worth a damn. So, forgive me for being legitimately excited about Star Wars Outlaws.
How you doing? Yeah? Got some trouble? Oh, now hold on a minute. You're the new deputy, ain't you? Yeah, the marshal's been sending out reports, keeping us all in the loop in your investigation.
Cool, that'll save me some time.
Yep, I'm pretty well caught up on things. Ben Armistead, pleased to meet you. Well, I guess that's the long and short of it. You're the newest member of the Rangers, and I'm the oldest. So, is one of them first mercenaries here at the clinic?
Yeah, some kind of urgent medical issue.
Well, every Ranger knows it's important to trust your instincts. No better place in the settled systems to get medical treatment. You can bet it beats anything them UC piglets got. Ironic, given they're the ones who built it. I know just the man who can help you. Right this way, Deputy. Just between you and me, I ain't entirely sure why someone felt the need to station a ranger out here. I'm not much more than a glorified bodyguard for Dr. Darvish. She's the one in charge around here. And she's also on the Council of Governors. Most of the staff don't seem fond of the idea of me being here, and I ain't fond of them right back. Bunch of stuffy eggheads, if you ask me. Except Ari, that is. He's about the only one I can have a conversation with. Now, hey there, Ari. Working hard or hardly working?
Hey, Chief.
Keep your
Little
nose
more the
clean.
former than the
last
latter.
thing I want is to
What
charge
brings
you
you
for a DP, an
Well,
A and
the
B, a
deputy
B and E,
here
or
could
heaven
use some
forbid,
help.
an MS.
Came looking for
But
someone who
at least we
might
wouldn't have
be
to worry about a VOP, am I right?
I'll see what I can do.
Well, I'll leave you in Mr. Miller's capable hands. You need anything else, I'll be in my office.
I am actually stuck. I am actually stuck. There we go. Oh my god.
Excuse me. Hope I can be useful to you. I'll try to help you, but our computer systems have been having some issues.
Person I'm tracking is a computer expert.
Huh. Well, we don't give the patients free access to our computer system, so I doubt that's related.
Uh-huh.
Still, it's worth keeping in mind. So who's the suspect you're after?
Former soldier named Maya Cruz.
Former soldier, huh? They say war changes people forever. Makes me sad, the thought of soldiers who come home and don't fit in anymore. The name's not ringing any bells, but maybe we can approach this another way. Do you know what was wrong with her?
Yeah, medical emergency required long-term care.
That should help narrow things down. I can access the patient records from my terminal, assuming the database cooperates. Come on.
Dang, let me go get stuck again really quick here. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I'm here, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Do I need to shove you? Let's go.
Give him a good smack for me. The man means well, but he's just so tired these days.
Is your face tired, ma'am?
Pardon.
Okay, give me just a minute here.
Take your time.
Maya Cruz. Maya Cruz. Come on, Maya. I need you to be in here. Okay, finally. Here we go. Oh. No matches found for a Maya Cruz. If Maya's here, then she's got to be using an alias. Which actually makes a lot of sense if she's a wanted woman.
Yeah, does anybody fit her description?
Yeah. Let me think for a second. All right, hang on. I know that we do have a few female patients staying with us. There's Candace... what's her last name? Doolin. Candace Doolin. And then there's the Nakamori woman. I think her name's Jane. I don't recall offhand what they're here for, but it's a start.
If I can find the source of computer issues, that might lead me to Maya.
You're welcome to use the Ranger Station terminal. I'll enable admin access for you.
Cool. You deserve this. Hey, you know what? Here. Have some lumbar support. There you go, buddy. There you go. See? See? Much better. What is 1,250 divided by 60? Random question. No reason. That is 20. Oh, hang on, I'm getting in conflicting. That's about 20 solid minutes of bowing.
Hello, this is my private room. Please leave.
Yeah, sure, whatever. That is,
You're in the Vanguard, right?
Okay, all right. So, let's get the practicality out of the way first. All large donations have to be cleared, which means a 30-day waiting fee. So, all of those games, pretty much by default, are going to be pushed outside of the awesome block. I am presuming that's going to fund all 3 of those games. Although I thought Age of Sigmar wasn't even out yet. I could be wrong about that. Anyways, either way, point being, even assuming that all 3 of those games are out right now, none of those games are happening until after the WoW block, which is the end of the awesome block. Simply because of the delay of nothing else. Is Age of Sigmar out? I don't even know. Let's find out. Oh, apparently it came out in November. Wow. I thought it was like a year out still. For the record, this also means Streaminations will be pushed back again, too. Just to be very clear about that. See around DC Maven. This is actually funny. So yeah, Age of Sigmar is out. I really didn't know. It's actually kind of funny. Battle across procedurally generated wildlands, excuse me, in a single-player experience as you fight towards a final enemy. I think that's a side mode, so we won't be doing that, but my first thought was, oh god, one procedural game to another. Let me do some quick math. Really quick here. Just give it a moment while it loads. Here, I'll just forward the quest while I wait. Oh, there we go. I mean, I don't mind poking at it, Scion, you know me. But like a full playthrough? Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Hey. I do hope you will forgive me, Scion. I don't think me bowing for 20 minutes is in everyone's best interests. You insist. If you insist, I can't really rightfully say no. I don't get that joke, Warcraft Code. So... Could someone type exclamation mark block into chat really quick, please? See you around, call room. I do hope you have a good thing. I can't think of the name of. Surgery. Yes, I know what Mecca is. What does being Muslim have to do with anything? I don't get the joke. I notice Scion has not answered me, which is admittedly quietly terrifying in the back of my mind here. Gotcha, Von Falkenstein. You can tell I'm very familiar with Muslim practices. I asked if it was okay for me to not bow for 20.8 minutes. I suppose I do have a second question for you, though. Are you okay with me rejiggering the schedule? So, hang on. You donated towards Iron Harvest specifically. I assume that was on purpose. I know that sounds strange, but if you could answer that directly, that would be awesome. So the second question related to that would be, are you available to watch those streams, say, about 5 days from now, give or take? Okay. So I'm going to presume you're not trying to con me. I know, that's a big thing. And I'm going to assume that that money that will not be there for another month or so is technically there. And I'm going to boost those up to be the games we play after Starfield. So we will start those immediately after Starfield. I'm going to have to do some math on that because you're the only funder on all of those games. So that's going to be a lot of daily dealer's choice to fill that out. But I'll do that off camera. Please stop giving me money. And thank you very, very much, Scion. Please stop giving me money. Please never give me money again, ever. Please. Oh my God. So let me, can someone type exclamation mark upcoming, please, just to make this easy for me? Interesting. That's not what that should do. It's not next. Oh, whatever. I forget what command brings up the upcoming page, so whatever. I'll just do it this way. Preference on order, Scion? Like, all three of those are equal length games, I'm pretty sure. For me. No, Giga Pudding. It was going to be next, but Scion just dropped too much money on my face. And this is pretty much how this is supposed to happen. Any game that I have funded takes lesser priority to games that you have funded. So, logically speaking, yeah, any game that you guys fund should be bumped to the top of the queue. Just like Starfield was. I didn't actually put any dealer's choice towards Starfield, fun fact. Q, that's the command. I knew there was a command for that. I do apologize for my overall tone, Scion. I do feel like I'm about to die. You know how it is. Please stop giving me money. Okay, so we're just now type exclamation mark next. And that should be up to date. And I'll deal with the paperwork side of that later. Thank you again, Scion. I do not have words. Okay. Well, the WoW stream might, as a consequence of that, not be happening until after I move, too. We'll see. The summer schedule is very much in flux right now.
It must be great to be able.
I'm sure there's someone else that can help you.
Full of mirrors.
Yes. What do you want?
I need to talk to someone in the VIP wing.
I'm sorry, but we don't permit unscheduled visitors to that area. You'll need to ask whoever it is that you wish to visit to make arrangements with me.
Who exactly are you?
I am Deputy Runner.
You could be Solomon Coe himself, and my answer would be the same. No. The rules are the rules. No exceptions.
All right.
I'm a busy man,
so let's do a persuade check.
Please. I suppose... All right, that's enough. I can see there's no dissuading you. I suppose I could make an exception just this once. This will get you in. Conduct your investigation quickly and without disruption. I do hope you won't make me regret this.
So much for Solomon Cole, am I right? These are all good questions, Blade Chaval, which, believe it or not, I do not have answers to. Let's see if we can just finish this stupid question. God damn it. I like how the clinic staff has ammo on her. Because, you know, the game doesn't actually think about what a mob should drop. It just has a loot table, which is kind of standardized regardless of who actually triggers it. Well, there's our clue. Not a very good hospital, I think, von Falkenstein. Of course I do. I live in the United States, Warcraft code. This may be the second time in like 5 years I've actually bought a game full price. I just realized that. There's no sales anytime soon, and I don't own any of those games yet. Oh no, I'm sorry, I own Troy. My bad. Yeah, we'll see. Starfield might take that long. Do I have to... I do not. I like how we just leave the hospital. We don't check up on anything. We're just here now. That sounds interesting, Scion. So, Total War Troy, just spare me for 1 second or so. Is it like massively, ridiculously different factions that we'll have to spend an entire week playing as? Or is it basically one faction with a few slight differences between them? Just do me this one service, Scion. Because I've played previous Total War games, and the factions don't vary nearly as much in them as they did in Warhammer, because Warhammer was crazy with how much they varied. Like, that was one of the benefits of that game. You know, that's a good question. I don't know, Lord. Excuse me.
Heard your ship, Doc. If you are who I think you are, then you're here to bring me in. I have to warn you, I've had more than enough time to prepare for this. So either you leave now, or I'll be burying what's left of you.
Okay, it would be kilometers, but I doubt that we're going that slow. Then again, maybe not. Who knows?
Something out there. How intriguing.
I mean, I guess we'll just get to it when we get to it. Because you're doing that last, I think, is what you decided? See, I would have figured Troy first, but I will adhere to your wisdom on the matter. You know, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what I said, Lord Aramont. If those are clicks, then we're going really slow. Huh. And we can't fast travel from here. Okay. Well, let's see where our last save was. Ugh.
Heard your ship, Doc. If you are who I think you are, then you're here to bring me in. I had to warn you. I've had more than enough time to prepare for this. So either you leave now, or I'll be burying what's left of you.
Located an enemy. I am attacking it now. I am taking damage. Warning. Damage registered. Damage. All systems.
So what's the difference between historical and truth behind the myth? I guess we'll find out when we get there. That's a lot of cereal. I feel terrible, Scales of Justice. How are you doing? I'm also playing Starfield. These two facts may or may not be related to each other. Sorry, I don't mean to sound weird. It just feels like you've got root truth mode and historical, or sorry, has truth mode and fantasy mode. Like, what exactly is an in between of that? I don't know. It just sounds weird to me. Especially since Troy came out before three houses, right? Or three kingdoms. There we go. 3 kingdoms. Jesus Christ, Lord. So what you're saying, Lord Harriman, is it means made-ups per second. How long have I been muted? Because I have no memory of hitting the mute button, which means I must have hit it by accident when I was reaching over to tap that. I have been talking non-stop, by the way. I'm not repeating any of that. However, I am boosting the lighting negative to a triple. I will repeat one thing, because Plutonia asked me a direct question. I would say these dungeons are superior to Oblivion dungeons. For what little that counts. Probably at about the level of Fallout 3 dungeons. And certainly better than Daggerfall dungeons. Yeah, I actually did respond to the flashlight comment. Go figure. I just really want to stop playing this game. I really, really want to not be playing this game. That's probably why I'm muted. I probably muted because I've been coughing, and so I've been doing it as a habit. I need to kill 65 more things. Can this game be fixed? Yes. The amount of work it would take would be the same amount of work that would go into a brand new game. I am not joking. But yes.
massive damage.
Yeah, if they could fix FF14, which I remind you is the worst game ever made, then yeah.
My sensors were catastrophic damage.
I mean, if I'm not giving a negative to Dragon or Lamentation status of Dragon Age Inquisition, I doubt I'm going to give it to this game. But at the same time, I am very tired of playing it.
I am unable. Repair not possible.
The ultimate irony. They're using a mining laser on me. Thank you for being part of the show, Zeiss. I will put that towards Horizon Forbidden West, Dawn Trail, and Cyberpunk. Thank you.
Well, what are you waiting for? Finish it.
Why is the first seizing farmland?
Because that's what we were hired to do. The pay was good, too. But the best part was getting to stick it to the people who turned their backs on us.
So I'm sorry, this is about revenge.
Of course it is! We spent 20 years behind bars because our leaders got scared and called off our attack just when we had the battle won. And did the people of the Freestar Collective that we fought and died for come to our defense? No! They did nothing. Nothing! Well, now they can die. Just like most of our unit did.
Ma'am, if you ever reach a mentality where you seek vengeance upon the civilian populace you signed up to protect, you are not worthy of calling yourself military.
I can't wait until you find out. Fine.
You seem very eager to die.
Of course I ain't. What kind of fool would be eager to die? I'm just not stupid enough to deny what's inevitable. I wish I were. How about I make this real simple for us both? I've got maybe a few weeks to live, and I ain't spending them behind bars. You want to put an end to me here and now? Then fine. Get it over with. Life's kicked me around enough as it is. But if you want to let me die on my own terms, then leave me in peace.
I'm afraid I came here for information.
Well, how about a test? Rangers are known to be handy with a gun. But here's a problem you'll have to solve with your brain instead. I've encrypted this slate. If you can crack it, you'll learn something useful. Now get out of here. And leave me in peace.
You got it. Apparently imprisoning her is not actually an option. Of course I can't fast travel from the Mine of Death. Why would I be able to do that? Believe it or not, you are mistaken. You actually can't go on a killing spree in this game. Game won't let you. Now that is a real crime. PC, Evo. And if it's super buggy, well then so be it. If it is super crashy, well, then we'll buy it a second time. Just like we did last time. Thank you, Wenlock, for your support. I have put that towards Dawn Trail and Doom.
I can't believe I get to stand near you, breathing the same air. I've got to have every one of you.
We are about 50 hours in Warcraft Code. We have skipped roughly 70% of the game. And we have an absolute bare minimum of 4 days left of gameplay in it.
I am engaging the enemy. Firing on target. Massive damage.
Yeah, I haven't even touched the MSQ. Not even a little bit. No, this is not a lamentation. You can go down from this. By quite a bit, actually. Although, I never decide a lamentation until I'm there, so I guess the actual correct answer to your question is, I don't know. I cannot decide a lamentation until I'm done. Hey, Lord Harrimont. That 70%, that's not an idle estimate. I put real thought into that. We really are skipping the overwhelming majority of the content in this game in terms of pure percentage. Yeah, the outposts, the procedurals, the overwhelming amount of side content. I am kind of counting procedural stuff in that. Obviously, procedural stuff is infinite by design. But what I mean by that is if we include the concept of procedurals as a way to add a few more hours here and there, then yes, I am counting that. Yeah, there's a very large amount of game here. For good and for bad. I just want you to know, I had an argument with myself 3 times in a row there. To just turn on no clip and go through the goddamn door. I know you don't care. I'm sorry. Could you clarify acronyms? I'm really not quite with it, Scion. Oh, that's right. Silent Hill 2R. Gotcha. I'll be completely honest with you. Thought that project had gotten not canceled, delayed. So I stopped following it. How much of this game is filler? Everything from the conversation I just had with that woman up until the conversation I'm about to have is filler. If we think of that in terms of percentages of the content we just did, that's probably close to 40 to 60% of any given quest.
It's coming and going all the time.
Mr. Tate, as a realtor, has been trying
We just got another side quest, but we have gotten 2 side quests the moment we just walked in to this town. Twice in a row. I'm not joking when I say that even if we don't lean on the procedural nature of the side content, just the actual side quests themselves are absolutely the kind of thing that will pad out this experience substantially more.
Helga says I spend too much time at my terminal. She's probably right. Hey there, deputy. Way out here.
Shut up.
How do you like the
Shut
job
up.
so far?
Shut up.
That's good to hear. So, what brings you by?
Shut up.
Well, well, what do we have here? Well, this is new. Very interesting indeed. I'll see what I can do. If you can get me another one of these, it'll give me more context for the encryption and should speed things up. In the meantime, you be careful out there, deputy. From what I've heard, these mercs mean business.
A discussion I had relatively recently with a friend was the idea of... we were talking about World of Warcraft. And in World of Warcraft, the question was leveled, are there only about 5 types of quests in the game? To which the answer is yes, actually. Now, here's the interesting thing. WoW goes way out of its way to vary those quests, vary the particulars of those types of quests to add a lot of fun and variety and unique, interesting, cool stuff. So even though a quest can be something like go loot X of Y, that can still be something that the game can turn into something fun and interesting, like
There's nothing like that smell.
Shut up! it could sound a lot like, or it could feel a lot different, like you're doing the climbing quests, for example, in Dragonflight, is a good example of this. And so, the key, as always, is implementation and execution, which brings me to this game. Now, someone earlier, I didn't actually catch who said it, said that it was Von Falkenstein, said, you're not even sure if the normal side quests are handcrafted. I think you're right. I think that what happened is they came up with a couple of story ideas. A couple's exaggerative, but they came up with a few side quest story ideas. And they didn't spend any of their 8 years or $200 million on actually designing the quests. And because every single side quest we did, which I remind you, we did 20 goddamn hours of them. 20 hours of secondary content, of side quests. Red Mile is what it says, Final Flash Kick. In that 20 hours, almost every single one of those quests was go to location, kill thing, go to location, loot thing. Now, there are some exceptions. You can pretty much always tell when a quest is manually crafted. But there is an inordinate quantity of side quests which very much feel like they were fed into a generator. I don't mean like they're being generated. I'm saying this wrong. I don't mean they're procedurally generated in the sense that we mean when we say that. I mean, they generated them when they designed the game, and that became manually crafted. Does that make sense? So they're not randomized. It's not like jigsaw puzzling. It's rather than a designer sitting down and designing a quest, they spat out a generic quest after plugging some inputs into an algorithm, and then that is the quest that they designed. And yes, I am angry about that, because that's cheating, first and foremost. It's disinteresting and bad, second of all. And third, it is so endemic. I've said this already in many different ways, but this game is kind of one of the biggest things I hate about the gaming industry as a whole, and I'm not being exaggerative there. Not the biggest thing, that would be predatory practices, which is all kinds of bullcrap and evil and awfulness. I mean, padding. The mentality I have been pushing back against since the 80s of the idea that the longer a thing is, the better the thing is. If it's a long movie, it's a better movie. If it's a long show, it's a better show. If it's a long game, it's a better game. And sacrificing quality and engagement and interest and even the general livelihood of the people crafting the work in question, all for the sake of squeezing and stretching out as much, as far, and as thin as they possibly could stretch it to make it as long as possible, because they care about length more than anything else. A long game is good if it's good. GTA 5, StarCraft 2, World of Warcraft, which is coming up. But a long game that is just padding is just padding. And this thing, this has legitimately been one of my hills for decades. And I think I've done it. I think I have found the game that is the worst game in the world about this exact concept. Even Final Fantasy XIV, which I love FF14 to death. FF14 is an extraordinarily padded game. To the point where I've been having trouble asking friends to go through it because they bounce off of it so hard because of how padded it is. Persona 5, another game I like, by the way, is an extraordinarily padded game. Dragon Age Inquisition was an extraordinarily padded game. But this nonsense, walking is slow. Trying to go faster is worse because of the stamina meter and the fact that you literally take physical damage. You take health damage if you try to run too long. The jetpack system is badly designed. So that's 3 things just from walking from point A to point B. And that's, hang on, we can add a 4th thing, which is the actual length of the places themselves, and a 5th thing, which is mandatory areas where you can't fast travel, on top of a 6th thing, which is a lack of a map, leading to a 7th thing, which allows you to get just lost in areas. That's 7 things just in the traversal category alone. I'm not even talking about the mandatory unskippable cutscenes, or the load times, or the fact that you have to go through every single frickin' door and let the door slowly open, and then you can go through it, and let the door slowly goes, and then let the door slowly open, and then or you have to actually talk to the guy and have him stop and turn and acknowledge where he's at in his scripting so he can start his conversation with you, or the fact that you can't even skip dialogue in this game. Do you know how bonkers that is? I didn't give Dragon Age Origins a negative to unskippable cutscenes for the same reason I didn't for several other games. It's because you can mash through dialogue. You can mash through text. And that is functionally a skippable cutscene. It allows you to go through the dialogue at your pace. I can't do that in this game, because it literally will not let me skip someone's dialogue until it's taken a few seconds to load. It might not be capable of skipping dialogues. I don't know. I don't know.
When you first leave the ship,
I know Oblivion you can skip dialogue. I don't know if you can in Skyrim. Hang on. Gotta wait for the door animation. Hang on. Gotta wait for the door animation. Thank you.
Wait, don't shoot me! I didn't do anything wrong!
Bullshit. You didn't think we'd notice?
God, I don't care. I don't care.
I don't make chit-chat with pigs.
Wait a minute. Judging by the wide-eyed and clueless look on your face, I'm guessing you're the new deputy.
I've killed the Terrormorphs in person multiple times. I personally took down the entire Crimson Fleet. Let's see, what else? I'm the PC, while we're on the subject. Oh yeah, I'm a first citizen. This is also, even if we ignore all of those other things, I also am not a newbie in your own goddamn organization. There's like the 5th quest in your chain, lady. And apparently there's an update that released today. I hadn't even heard about that. What's that, Stillstrom?
Wonderful. Well, your timing couldn't be worse. I've spent weeks trying to crack this smuggling ring, and I'm about to take a very important meeting.
I'm sorry. Hold up. Who's being a transphobe in my chat so I can ban them? I admittedly haven't really been watching chat. It's very hard for me to maintain a coherent line of thought. So I have not been reading chat. What am I missing over here? What the hell is going on in my chat? Ah, there were patches today. Let's see. Bug fix, stability fix, and that's it. That's not much of a patch. As usual. By definition, yes, the simple gamer. Yeah, I just, can we all chill apparently for a second? I didn't know something was actually getting started here. But, whatever.
Yeah, well, you're here now, so we'll just have to make it work. I don't have time to catch you up, so you're gonna have to follow my lead. I'm about to meet with a contact who might be able to give me vital information about the smuggling ring. If you play your cards right and don't do anything stupid, she might be able to help you find Marco. If you're ready, my contact is here and waiting.
Let's go meet your contact then.
Follow me.
So they've never done... thank you, sis. They've never done... words. I can't even word right now. They've never done mouth flaps right. Ever. In BRPGs. Usually I don't mind because they're stylized to the point where I don't mind, but they're really bad in this one. Can you hear me, sis, or are you just typing in my chat? Yeah, mouth flaps, the lip sync. Hold on. No, they've made the mouth flaps worse, actually. This has been an interesting day, Evo. Yeah, like hang on. Where did Miss 2023 come into it? Why are we talking about Miss 2023 with regards to a Starfield stream? How did this even enter the conversation? I completely missed that. What does this have to do with anything? Mm-hmm. I do like Godzilla. Godzilla's pretty cool. I can see now that my sister does not hear me. Godzilla -1 is a really, really good film that I highly recommend. It's not a kaiju film, although occasionally it does. So Warcraft Code, I'm going to say this as calmly as I possibly can. Because I don't particularly have any investment or interest in anything. If Lunaruth, who is a trans woman, who is a woman, tried to run for some kind of a thing, and she won that, then that would be cool in my book. I would not call her a man for doing that, and I would not call her funny for doing that. I'm sorry. I should have asked you before I said that, Lunaruth. I apologize. Yeah, Rule 0, right? This is just plain Rule 0. Rule 0 always applies universally for the same reason that it's called Rule 0. I don't particularly have any, like, horse in this race. I'm a white guy. Nobody cares about me. But Rule 0 applies regardless. This is just strange. So, I'm going to formally warn you, Warcraft Code. And this is your warning. Do you understand? Thank you. Willison, I apologize on behalf of my stream. And frankly, Lunaruth, since you are also here, I will apologize to you as well.
If you think you've got a chance in the Red Mile, talk to me. She's always happy to have more fodder for the beasties down there.
You said you'd be alone.
Yeah, well, things
I'm a little
changed.
short now, but I'll win
Take
it
a
all
seat.
back someday.
Yes, human rights are human rights. I do agree with that sentence. You're fine, Willison. I do apologize that my voice probably makes me sound worse than usual right now. As you can tell, there is a gigantic frog very, very slowly crawling down my throat right now.
Come on, sit.
So you're working with Autumn, huh? Who are you?
My, is Deputy Ron. I'm just gonna be honest.
Is that so?
The deputy here is interested in meeting...
I need like once upon a time, old man walk into town. The dust kicks off his boots as he grabs his revolver. Looks down the sights. Looks pretty good to him. But he ain't sure if this is the look he wants for the rest of his life. He gotta do better by his boy. If he don't do better by his boy, then... well, he's no better than his own paw, ain't he? Sorry. Oh, man.
Marco to talk about that mercenary company he's been funding. Since part of that money is coming from his smuggling operation, we're working together.
So you're investigating the first? Why?
Man in Black fled across the desert. The gunslinger followed. Wait, hang on. Zeiss, hold up. As the majority shareholder in this run, Zeiss, are we allowed to bash Starfield? Or do we need to, like... do we need to Spacer's Choice this?
Seems like a strange thing for a mercenary company to be doing.
I guess an introduction is in order. Like Marco, Jade here is the head of a small smuggling cartel.
See around Star Wars.
Difference is her crew stays out of Freestar collective space, while Marco's group operates exclusively within it.
Except now he's looking to expand his operation, and he started moving in on my territory.
Well, help me find him so we can bring him to justice.
That's exactly what this meeting is about. Look, the bad news is, Marco's incredibly paranoid. He never stays in one place for long. The good news is, I know how to find him.
There's good
But
news.
you're not going to tell us yet, because you want something.
I want the same thing you do. I want Marco out of the picture. But like I said, getting a meeting with him can be damn near impossible. One of the few people who can arrange such a meeting is right here at Red Mile.
May Divine. We've suspected for some time that Red Mile was a meeting place for smugglers. If she's in business with Marco, she won't give him up easily.
It must be something she wants we can trade for.
My thinking exactly. I can tell you right now what she's gonna want, because it's the same thing she always wants. She wants runners. It's how she makes most of her money. Of course, people that hard-blooded aren't easy to find.
Yeah, well, I'm not going out on the Mile. That's a death sentence. There has to be another way.
You've been a ranger long enough that too many people know your face and your name. Runners attract a lot of attention. If someone recognizes you and tips off May, this whole thing is shot. You, on the other hand, are just a deputy. It's pretty unlikely that a lot of people know you.
You don't have to do this. We'll find another way to get to Marco.
Fine, we need to find out what the First is planning.
All right. It's your call to make. If it's really as simple as asking May Divine for a meeting with Marco, then I guess that's all you need to do. We'll wait here for you. Try not to die. Will you?
You know, something I think Kara Whitenoise mentioned
Really going to take on the mine.
recently was that while Outer Wilds leaned too heavily into its story beats several times, at least those story beats were legit, right? Like, for example, the first town. Like, I'm not going to spoil, no spoilers. But the very first town, the first one you walk into, and the food crisis and the plague they're dealing with, everything about that is still one of the things that has stuck with me the most that entire game. Because it was so wonderfully mundane and yet still believable. It was also a situation where there wasn't really a bad guy. There was no evil person going mwahaha and sitting on like golden pedestal drinking Mai Tais, right? Everybody was part of that situation and everybody was detrimenting from that situation. And that was awesome. And yeah, there were actual legitimate moral dilemmas there too. Now, the further into the game you got, the more it got a little bit ridiculous. Because they just kept hammering that point over and over and over. But still, I really... When did Outer Worlds come out? Can someone look that up for me really quick, please?
Huh?
And can I get up? There we go. God, I look so terrifying in this stupid outfit. At least I don't have that stupid mantis helm on anymore.
But after seeing some of the deaths firsthand.
Oh, yeah. Can I also... 2019. That's more recent than I thought. I wonder... Because Red Dead Redemption 2 and Cyberpunk came out before that, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm pretty sure, based purely on analysis, that they tried to riff off of Cyberpunk and Red Dead Redemption. I'm wondering if Outer Worlds had any influence there as well.
Maybe not.
Hey.
Ah, a new face. I wonder, is this the face of a brave runner here to challenge the Red Mile? Or simply one seeking a respite from the burdens of life? My name is May, and I'm the proprietor of this establishment, home of the famous Red Mile. I assume you're familiar.
Oh yeah, all over the place.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it? I won't even ask how that's possible. You're in for a treat, then. The Red Mile is the settlement system's most exciting sporting event. Brave contestants from all corners of the galaxy come here to try their luck in a deadly race to the finish. Those that survive are celebrated as champions. Those that don't are quickly forgotten. I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have. In the meantime, please enjoy our world's famous hospitality.
I'm looking for Marco Graziani. I understand you two are acquainted.
That is true, but Mr. Graziani values his privacy. What is your business with him, exactly?
I'll be honest. He's funding a mercenary company that's threatening farmers.
Yes, this is not unknown to me. His association with the First is troubling, to say the least, and that trouble could find its way here. It's been too long since we've had proper entertainment. If you're willing to provide it, I'll give you Marco. Are you prepared to run the Red Mile?
Yeah, I knew there was no getting out of this, so sure, let's just go ahead and run this stupid thing.
Good. Once you've begun, I'll collect bets from my patrons who will place wagers on your survival.
Can I bet on myself?
I'm afraid not. But I'm sure your confidence will inspire our patrons to place substantial wagers on your survival.
Hey, companion who doesn't actually have a name, adoring fan, place some money on me, would you?
That's what every runner says.
Yeah, but see, I got the edge. Runner's in my name.
Now that we're clear on what's expected of you, are you ready to begin? Good. Come with me and I'll introduce you.
Thank you, Zeiss.
Okay, hello.
I apologize for not really being up for it myself. Could you, like, fix your pathfinding, lady? Please.
Yes, what?
Actually, it's funny you say that Warcraft code. There's some asterisks there, but the general idea of not being able to gamble on yourself is you're not able to gamble against yourself. That way you are not inclined financially to take a dive. By contrast, betting on yourself as if you're going to win is slightly different, but actually still illegal because people have figured out ways to figgle through the lines and still make that work because exploits. Just a little anecdote.
Your attention, please. Valued patrons.
And then I kill her. Bzz.
For one brave soul, the hour of fate is at hand. Yes, a runner has come to test the Red Mile. Now is your chance to get a good look at our fearless challenger as you contemplate your wagers. Do you see the fire in those eyes? What is that if not steely determination?
Yes, look into my eyes.
You'll agree that we're in for quite a show. The rules are simple. Go through the door and take the elevator down to where the mile begins. Activate the beacon at the base of the tower you'll see in the distance. Once you've done so, return here alive and your run will be complete. Go now, runner, and see if you can survive the mile.
You know, I was uncertain when they announced their new, like, voice acting for all of the names you could put in the game technology they invented in Fallout 4, but I'm actually impressed. They managed to call me runner.
Go ahead. Start some trouble. Give me an
While I'm complaining about this game, here's a random question. Why are there 7,000 guards everywhere, even when it makes no sense for there to be? Have you noticed that? Every single area has 7 trillion guards. Generic guards, to be clear. Like, just guards of... Oh my god, we can mod our armor to be even better. Generic guards. Everywhere. Like, to a ridiculous extent. God, we need level 3 research to upgrade this thing. Good. We had the research. Oh god, I think von Falkenstein's actually correct. No, seriously, think about it for a moment. What if Bethesda couldn't figure out crime detection, and so rather than make it so that each guard had like a mile-wide detection radius, they just have dozens of guards everywhere with their magic crime sensors. So there's like this field of crime detectors all over the place. And this way it looks more immersive because there's guards everywhere, even though it's actually applying the exact opposite problem. Like, there have been several areas we've been in where there shouldn't be that many guards at all, just because of like the nature of the place we're at. And no, they're more guards than people. This game. Yeah, look at that procedurally generated terrain. So beautiful. Sorry, I shouldn't be so negative. I apologize. Evo, are you there? That guy didn't make it very far.
You think I think. You zag, I zag. I am your sidekick, your shadow, your tail.
Would you mind repeating the quote you heard from someone who was talking about how they wish they could come up with AI prompts? I do not remember the specifics. But that's what this reminds me of. What the? That was strange. That was it. I wish... So, to continue the line of thought from Evo's commenter, I wish I could write prompts to make as amazing images as this game has. I wish I had the ability to generate an algorithm that can make art as beautiful as this. You know, I was going to use these to farm kills since they're level 6, but apparently they have 7 trillion health. So that doesn't feel like a very worthwhile usage of my time. Also, my food's going to be here in about 10 minutes. So now we've got a ticking clock. Yeah. I wish I could write I wish I could write such beautiful stories. No. I wish I could write the prompts that generate those beautiful stories.
Well done, runner. Now all you need to do is return alive.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the beacon tends to attract unwanted attention. Good luck.
Lady, I have a jetpack. I'm not overburdened, am I? Nope, I am not. Oh man, wish I could form exactly von Falkenstein. Someday I hope to be able to rip off other people's videos to such a high level of quality. Sorry, I should explain that joke a little bit. One of the things that has been trending for months on TikTok is very, very blatantly ripping off other people's videos, adding like one thing to it in a way that doesn't qualify as adding a thing to it, and then claiming it's their original stuff and trying to profit off of it. This has been primarily on TikTok, if I didn't say that out loud. Although, Lord knows YouTube is rife with this problem, too. That is honestly disgusting, von Falkenstein. Am I done? I did it. Hello. Imagine the worst extreme of reaction content, and yeah. Nah, it's not fair. You know what the worst extreme of reaction content would be, in my opinion? So imagine that I'm watching someone else play this game, and I'm just sitting here like this. That's the worst of reaction comment, in my opinion.
All this coming and going isn't good for my blood pressure.
Clearly, a lot of people make a lot of money doing that. I should clearly look into it. That's where the big bucks are. I spit a lot of venom at Asmongold because he's a garbage human being. But even Asmongold isn't that bad. No, there's other people who do that nonsense.
That's why I hired
Play by the house rules. Or you'll find
trust
yourself
that
on
this
the other
pirate
side of the
crew pays us a visit.
That's really simple out there on the Red Mile.
keep rogue spacers and
Kick back with a drink from the bar and enjoy yourself.
You going to try it again?
So, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it feels like 5 guards for this area is sort of ridiculous.
It means a lot more money for us.
Whatever.
Please enjoy your time here at the Red Mile.
You gonna talk to me?
Congratulations,
There you go.
runner. You have succeeded where most have failed. In fact, you seem none the worse for wear.
Your turn.
Indeed you have, and in most impressive fashion. As promised, I'll set up your meeting with Marco. I'll dispatch a courier to let him know you're coming. Please take a moment to relax and enjoy our hospitality. I'll return shortly.
Yeah, so this is a trap.
It can get rowdy in here sometimes, but we try to keep...
Unfortunately, I feel like this quest is going to go on for 7 more hours. So let's go ahead and pause right here. Tomorrow, at roughly 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll go ahead and continue, and hopefully be done with that stupid quest chain. I'll see y'all